A little GR. Yeah. Little GR. Yeah. Lil Bird rolling in the GR86. Red paint popping like a flame in the mix. Tie spinning up when the beat kicks in. Channel so bold it could shake your screen. True crown queen with the turbo heart. Story telling fire like a work of art. Hit that live button. Watch the sparks ignite when Lyra shows up. It's a whole new night. Lil GR86. Yeah, she flying down the lane. Engine roaring like the storage running wild in the brain. Hit the gas, hit the lights, let the whole world see. This is Lil Bird, baby, and she's running full speed. Yeah, and she's running full speed. Yeah. Room 313 to the courtroom floor. She breaks down mysteries you can't ignore. Both thumbnails, neon glow. When Lil Doe goes live, everybody wants more. Pedal to the metal with the truth she brings. Justice in her voice when the live stream sings. GR86 with the custom shine. Lil Jer's channel, one of a kind. Lil GR86, yeah, she flying down the lane. Engine roaring like the stories running wild in the brain. Hit the gas, hit the lights, let the whole world see. This is Lil Bird, baby, and she's running full speed. Buckle up, turn the volume up, and don't blink, cause Lil is about to take you for a ride. Lil GR86, she's the queen of the scene. True crime stories with the supernatural sheen. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, come ride with me. Lil GR86, where the mystery meets speed. A little GR. Yeah. Little GR. Yeah. Lil Bird rolling in the GR.
Here we go. Let me turn that. All right, listen. All right, a little bit late, a little bit tardy, not all together. My partner's not even here yet. We're just kind of not in the groove today. But the thing, I'm going to wait on her for a minute. I even forgot to hook up my microphone. I'm like, oh my God, I got no sound. Anyway, pull this back up over here. And what we're going to talk about is the latest Gypsy Rose Blanchard interview with, let me figure out this guy's name. I don't remember his name. Just a minute, guys. Hang on. With Mr. We Need to Talk. Yes, we need to talk because you, Mr., did no research at all. You jumped on and let her tell every single lie. Every bit of it was a lie. All of it. It's like you just ignored everything you had ever been told. It didn't even matter, did it? Huh? Is that right? Are you ever going to tell the truth about the fact that she lied? Are you? No, probably not. You're probably never going to do that. I know you're not, but let me get this all straight over here. Let me give credit where credit is due for We Need to Talk. All right. All right. Hang on a minute. Okay, so we're giving credit to We Need to Talk, and this is going to be about the interview that Gypsy Rose Blanchard did with him that they released, how many days? 9 days ago, right? That has managed to get 12,700 and something odd comments, and I'm sure most of those comments were not very nice. Okay, there you are. Okay. Hey, Cinderella, so good to see you, girl. Thank you for coming in. I always appreciate it. I'm sorry it was a little bit late. We weren't really together. Hey, there's Sprinkle. How you doing today?
Hey, can you hear me?
Never got off the phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, because I got new earbuds. I didn't know if they were working or not.
Woohoo! Yay, perfect. I know you're gonna love. It's better to use the earbuds than those earphone thingies because it cuts out a lot of the other noise. But now, I don't know.
My other earbuds were too sensitive. Every time they just were awful. So
yeah. I don't know if any of you have watched this Gypsy Rose Blanchard interview with We Need to Talk. I don't know if you watched any part of it, but I am sure that every single thing that was put out, oh my God, it has Sprinkle. Your name, your real name is showing up there. I'm so sorry. Listen, it says your real name under your avatar. Did you know that? Whoops. Oh, are you fix? Okay, she's gonna fix it. Thank you. Okay, I'm sure she didn't realize that. But anyway, we're gonna watch a little bit of it, and then we're gonna talk about it because it's so bad. It is so bad, and I'm sure that most of the comments he got were negative. Okay, because everybody is asking him, why are you allowing her to lie? Why are you allowing her to lie? Why are you letting her lie? Did you do no homework? Did you not pay attention? Did you look at the FOIAs? No, you sat there and listened to everything she said and shook your head like, is that right? Is that true? What the hell, you dumbass? What's wrong with you? Really? Anyway, so let's go ahead and get our fair use disclaimer while Sprinkle Donut fixes herself over there, which I'm sure she didn't realize that at first. So let's go ahead with this. Okay, so I'm running errands. Oh, good, because this is kind of a listening thing. Thank you, Cinderella. So this video may contain copyrighted material, the use of which has not been specifically authorized by the copyright owner. This content is made available for purposes such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Under Section 107 of the U.S. Copyright Act, allowance is made for fair use for the purposes. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips that balance in the favor of fair use. All rights belong to their respective owners, not copyright infringement, and no copyright infringement is intended. So there is our fair use discussion. Now, I'm going to pull this up, and we're not going to play the whole thing, but I am going to get to parts of it because it is like segregated. We're not going to listen to the intro, but we are going to listen to this part for just a second. Now, let me get this to playing. And I want you to listen for just a second.
The rest of my life in prison. I felt like my mom was my best friend. She was my protector. So you have a child that just wants her mom to love her.
You're the reason I was born, to be your mom.
What was your mother claiming?
I had supposedly a seizure.
Now, let's talk about that because there is absolutely in the FOIAs a discussion and in medical records where she was actually in the hospital for 6 months. And let me tell you the reason why. She was failing to thrive. In the medical records, it says what she weighed when she went into the hospital. And I think she was 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old, 6 years old. And she goes into the hospital, I think she weighed like 38 pounds. And the reason why she was so small, it wasn't because her mother was starving her like the Petrie said and all that. So let's get over to the FOIAs. I don't know if we can cover the whole thing in one session because it's so bad. It's just so bad. So let me see if I can get to these medical records over here. Okay, hang on a second. Well, no, it's not those. Actually, I want to pull it off from my actual computer because I did label all of this. So we would be able to pull it back up and use it. So hang on a second. So let's go over here and let me find this while we talk for just a second. Okay. Hospital. Medical records. Here we go. Let me see if I can get this to open up properly. No, I don't want to use that. Oh, I can't stand these things that pop into our computers. It drives me insane. I don't need that. Open with preview. Okay. Here we go. Now, here's the whole medical record. No, oh, why is it doing? No, don't do this today. Don't do this today. I don't understand what it's trying to open under, and it's just pissing me off. Oh, okay. Well, we're just gonna have to do it this other way because I don't want to deal with this garbage over here. There is in the information, there are medical records that state she weighed 38 pounds and she was not failing to thrive, right? And the reason why she's failing to thrive was from her disorder that she had that they did not discover until 2011. Because of her palate problems, she choked when she ate or drank, right? So that is the reason why she didn't want to eat. She was afraid to eat because she would choke every time. That is what's going on there. So the lie that she tells about the first procedure she had is incredibly horrific because this is where it all kind of starts, where she's trying to blame her mother with Munchausen by proxy. Now, there's another part over here that's in these records that you will discover where Christy said, Christy starts this, Munchausen by proxy. So between Christy and then her attorney, and now there's new records from In the Weeds that have just been dropped that are the discussions between Dan Patterson and her attorney Mike. And it clearly shows they were both hiding real evidence. Both of them should be investigated. Now, Fancy did a little show on this today, and I kind of watched parts of it. I agree with her 100%. Both of them need to be investigated because this is why this little witch ended up with a 10-year prison sentence. And the sheriff, which I believe his last name was Arnott, has stated in his latest interview she should have gotten more time. Had they seen what they're seeing now, if they had some of this information now, that was instead of back then, she would have gotten more time. Justice was not served. It was not served, okay? That's what we know about this situation. So we're gonna listen to a little bit more. Hang on a second, guys.
Disorder, anemia, paralyzed since birth, but I knew that I could walk.
Was there ever a moment where a doctor told her no?
Yes, this brings us to quite a pivotal moment.
But you then start dating. There was Nick, Ryan, and Ken.
Something in me snapped. Nick was the gasoline, I was the fire.
No, you hear that? That's not even true. You want to know why? Because Nick was the second person she had asked to take her mother out. And let's go back. Her mother had 30, not just a few, but 30 pellet wounds where Nixie Rose Blanchard pulled a gun out that she did not realize was only a pellet gun and started shooting at her mother. So when you listen to this, and you know what we do know, it just makes you disgusted because the guy sits here and goes, and she's trying to act like Nick was the first person that she put in that position. That he's actually the third person that attempted, or actually that she involved with taking her mother's life, that actually took her mother's life. Okay? So think about that for a second. Now here we go.
First thing he said when he comes to the door is, "This is dead. I need to go and help."
That's a lie. Right there is a lie. And she turns on the tears because it makes her look better. She never wanted to help her mother, because let's not forget what happens next, okay? Let's not forget about that, right? Let's go on over here to this. Hang on a second, guys. Let's pull it up from right here for a minute. Okay. Where is my little, okay. Not that one. Let's over here. Hang on, guys. I'm going to pull up something that, all right. Just give me a second here. Where they are showing the videos. Now we're going to bring up the video from when they were at the jail, when they went to the hotel. I hope it's right here. We'll see if it's right here. That's not the right one. Oh, come on now. We've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen it. Oh, boy. Not that one. Ooh, no, don't show those. Those are bad. Those are bad. Hang on a minute. Gypsy, come on now. Otherwise, that I can never find anything. We start doing this, and then I can never find anything that I want to find when I need it. Okay, let's go on down here. Look at all of this, guys. Look at all of that right there. There is so much information. It's not even funny on this case. Now, let me see if I can find it down here. I might have to look at it like this way. Video, hang on a minute. Let's find the video of, let's see, video, Gypsy at hotel. I think it's labeled this way. Okay, here's some videos. All right. Well, just a second. I'm going to get this video. I'm going to let you listen to this for just a second, and then we're going to go back and find this. I can never find the things the way I have it labeled when I want to find it. It makes me so damn mad. Just listen to this for a second while I pull this back up.
Or trying to hold on.
Having people run up to you and want to take a selfie with you. None of that I was prepared for. Y'all made me this. I didn't. But it wasn't until I had my daughter thinking to myself,
wait a minute. Y'all made me this? No, y'all didn't make me this. You made me this. You know why you made me this? Because as soon as you got arrested and Rod and Christy got into your life, they started selling you right then and there, because they knew anytime you have a person who has taken their mother's life, it's going to be a big story. especially when you throw in Munchausen by proxy. That is what happened there. You are the reason why you are in the story. Don't blame everybody else. Yeah, you always wanted to be famous, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. We know that for a damn fact. Don't even get that wrong. Stop that. That's not right. You know better. You know better right there. I mean, it's shocking the things that she has to say here about, oh, y'all did this to me. I didn't do this to me. Y'all did this to me. Y'all are the ones who made me like this. Y'all are the ones who are buying my books. Y'all are the ones who are buying my stories. Y'all are the ones who are paying me to be on this, that, and the other. And I guarantee you this guy paid for this interview as well. Here we go. We'll keep playing this.
So how can a parent ever hurt their child?
Was there anything that you've seen or heard about that you want to clarify?
In all the interviews that I have done, I have never had anyone really listen to me until now.
That's a lie too. Everybody listened to you. The problem is you told a lie. That's what happened here. You told a lie. Everybody listens, but they listen to you lie.
In this episode, Gypsy Rose Blanchard shares her own account of her life and experiences, including the murder of her mother, childhood abuse, and allegations of sexual assault. We must note, to be legally accurate, that these allegations of sexual assault have been reported previously, have been denied or disputed, and have not resulted in criminal prosecutions. We report but do not adopt them. These topics may be difficult to hear, so
but you adopt everything else she asks, everything else she says, he's taking it as if it's real, and it's not, and we all know it's not. This interview is so disgusting because of that. I don't even understand why he says nothing to her about what she's saying, knowing that it's not even true. I'll never understand that, ever. Never will I understand that. It's so bad. You know, it's so bad. Okay, let's see if I can find this other thing over here. It makes me so mad because I need to find, let's see, I don't know if it'll let me find it that way, source. I want to find a video that I know we have
please
here.
watch with care. This is a deeply powerful conversation, and I hope...
Actually, I'm going to go past that because I don't want to listen to that part. Here we go.
Fairly normal, because the first 5 years of my life, my grandmother was still alive.
Okay.
And I honestly feel like when my grandmother passed away, my mom lost a part of herself, at least was keeping her together. Because at the age of 5, I was still able to be around my cousins. I have a very large family. Lots of cousins. I have.
Well, we know that that's not exactly right either, is it? And come on, no, I want to get to where she starts really talking about the meat and bones of this situation.
Put her in that box of like, oh, she's just weird, she's just crazy.
Well, there you are.
So it's like, I think that they had a hint that, yeah, this is not normal, but there's a lot of things that was going on in that family that was not normal.
Okay. Now, you mentioned there, and this is something that this is...
And we're going to skip past a lot of what he's saying, because really it's all about what she's saying and the lie that she's telling. Here we go.
Around the age of 5-ish. And when after my grandmother passed away, it was me, my mom, and my grandfather all living in the house until he, moved.
Okay.
And so upstairs there's a bathroom on the second floor, and
not going to listen to her falsely accuse her grandfather. Not doing that.
And I said yes, and she started to cry, and I started to backtrack. I got scared. I didn't want to see her cry, so I started to backtrack.
Okay, it's more about another lie. Here we go.
6 months stint in the hospital.
Okay.
And that's when they put the feeding tube in.
Okay, here we go.
And you can't recall how you got to the hospital?
My mom drove us, but I don't remember what the initial appointment was for.
Yes, she does. She does know. She was failing to thrive. She was underweight, and she does know about that. Now she's telling a lie right there. I wish I could get right to the records that I know we have that talk about why she was in the hospital. It's disturbing that we can't find those right this hand. Let me see if this is it. open up. Come on, open up. Open with preview. Here we go. Let me see if I can pull this up right here a minute. No, that's not, anyway. Well, whatever, that's fine. We've heard her talk about this so many times that we know. See, she tells a different story. Every time she gets somewhere talking about this, she tells a complete different story to the next person, the next person, the next person. And if you watch this story and you kept up with anybody else's podcast or the videos, you know that because you've already seen it. This was a shocking interview that she sat there and lied.
Okay. But you ended up then going in for 6 months, which, I mean, that's significant.
Yeah, that's a long time.
And you were given a feeding tube, and then you were placed in a wheelchair.
No, that's not exactly right either. See, I mean, she was placed in, she was received the feeding tube for failing to thrive because she would not eat because of fear of choking because she choked every time she ate. That is the truth. That is the facts. Here we go.
Yeah, so the wheelchair happened. There's so many different stories that my mom told different people. So
and there's so many different stories that you told different people, right? You even told Nick, oh, I knew I could walk ever since I was, 6, 7 years old. I just didn't tell my mom because I didn't want her to not love me. What kind of garbage is that? Think about it, guys. I know you've all seen that video.
The initial story that my mom told to family was I went into the hospital. Then upon having surgery, I had a seizure on the operating room table that left me paralyzed. That was the first story.
Okay.
So, of course, growing up, that's what I thought. I knew that I could walk. I just want to make that clear. I knew that I could walk. So then she goes on to tell other people, well, she was paralyzed, and doctors, mind you, tell doctors that I was paralyzed since birth.
Oh, wow.
See, that's not even true. Right there is a lie right there. We know that's a lie because the medical records have been discussed. Go watch Fancy, go watch Becca. All of that's out there. She is telling a lie right there. A lie. Complete freaking lie. Here we go.
Even though there's pictures and there's family and there's all these people that had seen me grow up walking.
Right. So then.
And my mom left. We never went to see that doctor again. But that doctor had put in the medical records, in his notes from that day, suspicion of mother with Munchausen by proxy. He puts that in the medical records.
That is the only time anything was ever mentioned like that. Now, there is a CPS report that happened in Springfield when she was 18 years old. Okay, they came to the house, they're suspecting this, that, or whatever, and then they realized she's a damn adult. She can leave at any time she wants to, and they just dropped the whole case. See? So, I mean, and Gypsy remembers that. She's such a freaking liar. To me, it's unbelievable the amount of lies. Here we go.
Now, my mom would always request a copy of the medical records after every appointment.
Okay.
We guess, me, my family, my attorney, we all think that she's seen that in the medical records and chose to leave and not go to that doctor again.
Okay.
See, and there's another thing that's happening, and it is something that is. Hang on a second, guys. Let me see if I can get back over here. There's a brand new bunch of information that has came out on this case, and it is from In the Weeds. Okay, let me see if I can get back over here to this home. Okay, let's see. Oh, they're right here. Right here. Oh, let's go. Let me go back. That's Dan Patterson on Mr. Go to John. Come on, go back. We also have Dan Patterson on Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Yeah, we do. Let me see if I can find that. Hang on just a second, guys. Let me go back over here. This is just pissing me off because I cannot find what I'm looking for. Okay, let's go down here to old Gypsy Rose here. I'm going to play a little bit more of this while I look for this. Yes.
Okay. And so when a doctor leaves a report like that, then where does it go?
Usually it would go to social services,
Okay.
family protective services, which they did come to my house. They come to my house. They separate me and my mom, her in the living room, me in my bedroom. They bring a sheriff.
She's 18 years old. This is what I'm talking about right here. 18. She could have walked away anytime she wanted to. Any freaking time.
Or a deputy with them.
Goodness. Okay.
So it was 2 caseworkers and a deputy. And the deputy was questioning my mom in the other room about why is there E at the end of Blanchard? Because it's just Blanchard. There's no E at the end, but she had put an E at the end and essentially was, forging all these documents.
Okay, so in Blanchard, that's your last name.
Yes.
So Gypsy Rose.
Proxy, why aren't you asking those questions? The right questions, instead of asking me if I have bruises,
If they had asked the right questions, how do you suspect?
I probably would have been so innocent.
I probably would have been so innocent, except you were 18, okay? Except you're 18 years old and could have left it any time you wanted to. Anytime you wanted to. Now, just for a second, let me come back over here. I'm going to show y'all something this is brand new information. Let me switch this off of here. We're going to stop sharing that one. I'm going to share this one right here. Right here. Now, let me see if I can get this to share right. Hang on a minute there. Now, share. It's the window. There we go. Now, this is the brand new information, and this is the discussion between Dan Patterson and her attorney, AKA also known as her manager, okay? That's what's going on here. Now, I heard some information. I don't know where I heard this from, but there was some kind of something that happened years ago where, and I think that she already knew Mike Stanfield from something else. She had some other thing with Mike Stanfield. So he was not just a total stranger to her. Now, I need to verify my facts. I need to find out where did I hear that from, but my phone is dead, so I can't really use it right now. So, but we will come back to that. So let's look at this right now. I'm going to make this big so I can read it here. Now, so this starts going on about the Facebook records and all the different names that they used on Facebook. Because she had many accounts on Facebook. I don't know if y'all know that or not. But anyway, so this is when they're requesting the materials. It's actually the evidence in the case, all the interviews, all the everything that they had on this case. And it is a lot of evidence. I mean, there's Walmart videos. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we don't even know about, because a lot of it, or some of it was still not released. It just wasn't released. I guess because whenever they requested this stuff through Into the Weeds, I don't know why, but they did not really get complete files. And the only reason why we know that is because of this right here, because of what we see right here. They don't have all of that, right? Now, we're going to come on down. There's a discussion down here. Look at all of this. Jesus Christ, it's a lot. There's the laptops and all this stuff. Hang on. There's even a discussion down here where it talks about what part of the discovery they weren't going to send over to the prosecutor because they were just trying to cut out some of the fluff. Well, let me tell you what the fluff was. The fluff was the fact that Gypsy Rose Blanchard was not Munchausen by proxy. The fluff was she knew everything, that she was lying to them. The fluff was the fact that she did have a disorder, that she did have this blood disorder, that she was in the hospital for failing to thrive and all that stuff. That is what that absolutely was right there. It's all there, okay? Let me pull this one back up. Let me see. There is so much. He goes, he's talking about, right here's an email when he's talking about what they're going to send. He goes, and there were medical records. All the medical records, they did have them. They were not lost in the hurricane. That's all a lie. What I will be providing is a large stack of medical records. This is from Mike Stanfield over to Dan Patterson. So Mike Stanfield had the damn information the whole time. Each individual record is paperclipped separately to make them easier to read for you to scan. I've highlighted the information. I believe it's most relevant in many cases wrote next, most relevant and in many cases wrote next is why that information is inaccurate and put true to fact. What do you mean the medical, what do you mean? What do you mean the medical records were inaccurate? The medical records are not inaccurate. They are the truth, okay? Who are you to decide what's true and what's not true when you're reading medical records, okay? When you're reading medical records, how is that happening? Okay. I also have personal statements from both Dee Dee's sisters, Claudia and Doria, Rod and Christy Blanchard, and a family friend from Louisiana, as well as some photos showing Gypsy when she was younger. Several news articles the family located in Dee Dee's stuff dating back to when Gypsy was younger and various other items. My thought was that I would turn these over to you and give you a couple of weeks to digest what's in them. Then you, me, and Clay, wherever Clay is, have another sit down to discuss questions. And you have the questions that he has, and go ahead and fill in the gaps. We talked about trying to write out a timeline and explain everything, but given the scope of the time frame, I figured that it would just take me forever, and I would invariably just miss something. So having a sit down after you read it all seems to be the simplest procedure. I will have everything brought to you today. My thought, this is it. Okay. He goes, there was one thing that we found when we went to the scene that I wanted to have you a particular knowledge of because it shows the magnitude of what Dee Dee was capable of. Dee Dee's bedroom was chock full of junk. In a binder stuffed under the bed, we located a blank prescription pad that was stolen from Children's Mercy Hospital in Kansas City. Okay, so what, right? It does not have a particular doctor listed on it. It would have allowed her, however, to obtain any drug she wanted without having a doctor double check. That is not true. Because anytime a doctor writes a prescription, their number has to be on there as well. Was she just going to guess their number? Where was she going to get that information from, right? To illustrate why this is so dangerous in the mail she goes, to illustrate why this is so dangerous, in the mail that arrived after the police were at the house, there was a card from a pharmacy thanking Dee Dee for donuts that she had brought them and telling them they were telling her how wonderful she is for caring for Gypsy. So what? People buy gifts. Go ahead.
Hang on. Okay, so they're saying that prescription pad was found in the house. Do you remember when she made that video, I don't know, about a year ago, saying that she was going to Target and she was like, when we were cleaning out my mom's stuff, we found this prescription pad and I was told that I could turn it into you. But
Christy said
that house was cleaned out while she was in jail. So what
right.
Christy, but the investigators found it, but yet there was another one that was stored in Dee Dee's stuff that when Gypsy got out, Gypsy was able to get access to. So that means she sold 2 pads.
See, that's what makes no sense, right? Who's lying here?
Because she made that video. Do you remember seeing that? Where she took it to like Target or Walmart or whatever.
Christy claimed that she found that pad and it turned it over. That's what Christy's claiming. I remember that clear as day.
So
and
now there's three. Christy turned one in, Gypsy turned one in, and the investigators found one in the house.
See, I don't know, because Mike Stanfield is the one who's turning over this prescription pad to Dan Patterson's office.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So there's 3 now?
So Christy, they withheld all this evidence and turned it over to Mike Stanfield and not the police? Because they were already planning how to get her out of this before they turned over anything. They started selling the Gypsy Rose Blanchard story the day she got arrested, and I can prove that. It's all about the money. It's just like Carmelo Anthony over here. His family started selling him as soon as this incident happened, and they were going with a race situation.
Well, of course they were.
Yeah, it's the parents throwing the kids down the boat with no down the river in a boat with no paddle. They don't care about the kids. It's what are they going to financially gain out of this? That is what started happening immediately. Okay.
Well, there's so many of the, I don't know. I was talking with a Facebook group that I'm in, and this was in regards to a different case. But we were talking about the amount of money that is made by some of these families off of either their child's unalivings or the situation like Carmelo Anthony. There should be laws in place of what kind of money a family can actually receive after a tragedy. Money, well, I mean, we know the victims assistance funds, travel, funerals, caskets, and things like that. We already know that.
Right.
But there should be a limit to what the family can receive. They should only be able to receive money for searches, DNA testing, funerals if it's not covered, things of that nature. Because I mean, how many of these cases where the families have made millions? Watts family, the Rusiks have made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Idaho 4. The Gonzalez has made hundreds of thousands of dollars. Carmelo Anthony's family bought cars and homes and everything from the over $1 million they received. I mean, Wade Wilson, the amount of money that he got in jail from everybody donating to him. There should be a limit to where these families can't receive monetary gain from, and restitution. That's another one that they should be able to receive money from, obviously. But to allow them just to continue to go do these GoFundMes and do all of these things to get money is just disgusting, because that's when everything begins to get all convoluted and twisted and out of reality. They're going to create any kind of anything in order to keep that money pouring in.
Well, look at Carmelo Anthony's family. They finally got shut down. But then I was watching somebody else today, and I really like her. I wish I could remember her name. It's Tamara Neely. If you haven't had a chance, go watch Tamara Neely's channel. I was watching her today, and she was talking about the Carmelo Anthony family and the money situation. And it is absolutely disgusting what's going on over there. Absolutely disgusting, as they try to make bank off of their child's back. They did not even stay for his sentencing. They turned around and walked out knowing he was getting 35 years and did not even watch him be sentenced. They just left. What kind of parent does that? What the hell? That was so hurtful. I don't know. That hurt that child.
And I mean, and
he's guilty, but
you've lost a child, as have I, and everybody knows that. Yeah. And I sit and I think, could I have gotten money off the death of my child? No, I couldn't. I wouldn't want it.
I would not want it.
I wouldn't want it. There's no way. I don't care if it, I did have a few people help me afterward because I couldn't go back to work right away. And they helped. They had a little GoFundMe for me, and it raised like $1,500. But I mean, that's not in the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. That was just to help me pay my bills till I could get myself together and go back to work. It wasn't an exorbitant amount of money. And I appreciated that. But to profit off of the death of my child, that to me is just sick. It is just sick and twisted. Who wants to profit off the death of their child? Or in Carmelo Anthony's case, in the fact of his crime. Why should you profit off of what your child did in a situation like that? That's nasty. They should have some kind of remorse, regret, something to the victims. It just shows what kind of person they are. I don't know.
There's so much information about Carmelo Anthony that has not even really been told yet, because it's not as simple as it's portrayed in that trial. What about his background history, about being a bully or whatever, or constantly having weapons on him, etc. Right? What about that part? That's the part we're not going to hear about. But why and I've also heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, because I just kind of heard this yesterday. I have not really spent time looking at it, but I understand that something about he was not even running in that track meet. Like he wasn't even supposed to be there. I heard some story like that, but he went and it started raining. He goes underneath his tent, starts talking to some of these other kids, and they're like, "Hey man, get out of here!" Blah blah blah. Is the way I understand this happening, but I don't quote me on that because I don't have all the facts yet. I just heard it and I was like, could that even be possible? Maybe, I don't know. So there's just so much more to the story than what's being told to the public. And I can understand his family not telling because again, they're trying to make bank off of this incident. And when you hear things like, well, his father couldn't even go back to work. What do you mean his father could not go back to work? What do you mean? Yes, he could have. But see, there's another backstory about their parents and their financial situations that was not discussed until later as well. But now, as far as Gypsy goes, Blanchard, I think it is disgusting that she's allowed to make bank off of what she did. And she did it. I don't want to hear another word about, well, I don't identify myself as a murderer. You are a murderer. You planned it. And Nick was the third person. Anyway, let's just keep reading this for a second. So they start talking about this pad. Okay, so and then he said, oh, it makes her so dangerous, right? And then he goes, as far as we could tell, Dee Dee filled prescriptions at numerous pharmacies, and she kept records of what she filled at what locations. I included a photo of one such list so you can see it. In the discovery, there is a photo of the closet in the hallway with all the medications in it. This was interesting to me for two reasons. Number one, there were tons of medications in there for Gypsy, which was on the top of and there was hundreds of bottles. There was not hundreds of bottles. That's not true either. That's over exaggeration. And he goes, that house was an absolute pigsty. However, the medications in that closet were separated and lined up. He goes, and the only thing that the entire house that was organized was this medication closet. Well, here's the funny thing about all this. The neighbors that you talked to said that they would go over there for movie night, etc., and that house would be clean. That house did not look like that. I can tell you what happened right here, and just bear with me while I talk to you about this. I believe that yes, absolutely, there is proof that Dee Dee was sick of her shit. She went out and bought a small car that the damn wheelchairs wouldn't fit in because she knew that was over. That's over, right? She knew it. And then there's also the fact that she wanted Gypsy gone. She knew Gypsy was stealing from her. She was afraid of Gypsy. I know she was. You can tell. I mean, by all the people's conversations, Dee Dee did not live like that. Gypsy went through that house, tore that house up, looking for what she was taking with her whenever she left. She got really mad. She was really, really mad at Dee Dee because Dee Dee said, no, Nick is not moving into here with us. I'm not allowing that. So that was the tipping point. Let's get that straight. Don't get that twisted. That was the tipping point when she let her know. What is going on? Why do you keep falling out, girl? Wait a minute. Stop.
If my phone rings while I'm on, then it kicks my headphones off, and I can't hear through my headphones. But then I try to like put my headphones back in the case and put them back in my ears, and then they don't connect. Yeah. So I don't know. There's got to be something that will stop that from happening, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. Well, it's okay. So Gypsy, Dee Dee was done, and Gypsy knew it. And when she put her foot down and said, no, Gypsy, we're not doing that. Gypsy made the decision. That's when she said, okay, Nick, it's time to do it. We're doing it now. She says Nick told her when they were doing it, but that's not true either. And you're going to hear that in just a little bit when we keep going through this video over here. But I wanted to go through these things because I found this very shocking right here. That the decision was made on what medical record was going to be looked at or used by the defense attorney. How does that work? That's not even correct. He goes, I will continue to look through things, and if I find something that I believe you need to see, emphasis on what I believe you need to see, I will send it over. But what I have compiled are the main items that give you the picture of what was happening. Okay, Dan Patterson, you did not do your damn job. You did not do your job. It was not up to Mike Stanfield to decide what.
How does that even work?
It's wrong. It's completely wrong. And this is why I say they both need to be disbarred. This is a murder trial here. And the defense attorney is saying, here's what I think you need to look at. God almighty, it's unbelievable to me that this has happened like this. So then we walk on down, and this picture is really hard to see, and I really can't lighten it up, but it is also, it's just a blank pad. It's a piece of the blank pad from Mercy Hospital. That's what this picture is, okay? So then we're gonna come on down, and it's talking about this Mike Stanfield to Dan Patterson, and they're talking about having this meeting, and this was on July 21st of 2015. He goes, sorry, just saw your email. No continuance is necessary. Let's just get it done on Friday. Okay. Dan says, this is Dan Patterson, before I go talk to Gypsy, would you be willing to provide the discovery you have so far in exchange for our agreement to reset the prelim? What do you mean, would you exchange? Every bit of the discovery should have been turned over. Every bit. But because Christy and Rod and them went and cleaned that house out before Dan Patterson's office could get to any of that, and because it was a crime scene, then a lot of things Dan Patterson didn't have his hands on because it was given to Mike Stanfield. Now, keep on going down here. That gives me something to go to her with, and it may help me and you in our discussions on an appropriate resolution of this case. Well, the appropriate resolution was a damn trial for murder, not a damn manslaughter plea. Not a manslaughter plea. That's so incorrect. He goes, this is Dan. I've been contacted by Aaron Carr from HBO asking me to do an interview for documentaries. See, already selling her. This was Monday, October the 19th, 2015. Already selling her. She says that she's going to be here during the time of the next pretrial and that she's interviewing you and the sheriff. I just like to verify what I'm being told before I decide what to do with it. Really? Let's go on down here. No objections. Okay, let's go on down here. He goes, this is where they requested the courtroom camera, and that was approved in January. Okay, so he goes, forgot that you were handling Huckleberry. Okay, I don't know what that was about. It's a whole different trial. He goes, could you send me the photos that Hancock took of Go to John and Gypsy's writings in the jail? Because there is proof that they were illegally contacting each other while they were in jail. But see, she wasn't that wasn't part of the deal either. We'll just forget about that. It doesn't matter. We're going to still plea her out on manslaughter. Dan goes,
how would they be contacting each other though?
Because if you tell on me, this is going to happen. If I tell on you, this is going to, trying to work it out amongst themselves about what was going to be said and what was not going to be said.
In the car ride.
No, when they're in jail. Because they were in the same jail.
Were they writing letters to each other or passing it to a guard or like
they were writing in ink on the walls or scribbling in ink on the walls, and then the other one would go find what they wrote.
But aren't men and women separated?
They're in the same jail. They just don't go out to the same areas. So
but
let's say there's one shower.
But I thought men were in one area and women were in another area.
Let's say there's a shower in common, or let's say that where they eat is in common, and there's 4 walls, and they're scribbling on the walls these notes back and forth to each other. And then
I never heard that.
Yeah,
I never heard that. Interesting.
And then he goes, I've not heard back from you regarding my 2 last emails. Mr. Baker and I are interested in sitting down and speaking with you. We just need to find a date. I have time next week, except for Monday. Speaking with you about what? And then he goes, Clay and I were wanting to have a prelim sit down with you to discuss Gypsy. Would you be available to meet tomorrow? So that's just another email. And he goes, Monday looks like a holiday, I forgot, so they're planning for another time. And then he goes, let's see. Now this is just rocking on down. We're now on to January the 14th of 2016. And Dan writes, this is Mike Stanfield to Dan. Dan, Clay and I were wanting to have a prelim sit down. That's that same story right there. And he goes on down. He goes, I understand there's been some writing in jail involving Mr. Godejohn and Miss Blanchard, and Detective Hancock has photographs of them. Would you be able to get me these photos, please? Okay. He goes, I've not heard back from you regarding these emails. Let's go on down to this one. They're talking about when would you be available. Let me see. So then they planned, how about 9:30 on the 5th? Okay, because they were originally going to plea her out on the 5th, but for some reason, something about it got changed. But anyway, let me go down here to the next one. This is April the 17th, 2016, from Mike Stanfield to Dan. Most of the records that I received were provided in PDF format. Now, listen to this carefully. I am not able to single out pages in a digital format. Why do you need to? All of it should have been turned over in that PDF. It should not have been singled out. It is all discovery. It is all evidence, and the DA should have seen every single piece of this to make the proper decision, okay? But that's not what happened here, is it? I'm not able to single out pages in a digital format. What I am doing is printing off the pages that I believe are relevant. What he believes are relevant.
Wow.
Most of the time, that's just wrong. The pertinent information is contained in the doctor or nurse's notes. Most of those records, however, also come with pages of test results, pulse, BP listings, etc. I don't figure that information is extremely useful. In an attempt to cut down and focus you in on, he goes, in an attempt to cut that down and focus you in on the important information, I'm taking out most of the pages that contain the medical minutiae. And then highlighting and writing explanatory notes on the actual pages that I want to provide you. See, that is bullshit. That is wrong. It's improper. Because when you see it like that, it's telling you, well, Dan Patterson did not see the complete medical record. He only saw what the guy wanted to let him see. And he did not make a big deal about it and get the complete medical record. Why not? What the hell are they hiding? They're hiding all of it. Right here it is. Right here. They're selling the story and hiding the truth.
As to why not. That's more of the question.
It's right freaking it's in black and white right here. And knowing this tells you exactly what happened over there. I just wanted you to be aware that when you receive these, there will be pages missing. I have not cut out any documents because I believe they are negative for Gypsy. They're just simply pages full of unnecessary medical information. All medical information is important when you've got somebody that you're trying to say has Munchausen by proxy. Yep.
That's a stupid line right there. I mean, he's tell me you're not telling on yourself without telling on yourself. Just right there where he says, I have not removed anything. That means I have removed things. Hello?
That look negative for Gypsy.
Yeah, see, that's exactly why he did it. Exactly why he did it.
I think that they thought none of this information would ever come out, that nobody would ever see this because this case would just die down and whatever. But what Mike Stanfield forgot was when you start selling a story, it's going to come out because you've got it on every channel, TN, all of that stuff. It's out there everywhere. People have questions. They want to know the facts. They're going to get the facts, and they're also going to find that you hid the facts, that you lied, that you got cut for a deal based on half-assed medical records because you didn't. The whole case has things like this in the whole case where she is not fully held responsible for what she's done because they cut out the things that shows what she is. Right? All right. So he goes down, and it goes down a little further, and he goes, simply pages full of unnecessary medical information. The items that I'm providing and highlighting, I am making every effort to ensure that you get the full document containing the comments and the information so the context is included. If you would like a complete digital copy of the records, I will be more than happy to provide that. I just wanted to focus you in on the pertinent information and make it as user-friendly as I can, but due to the volume of the records. That is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Let's go down here and see. Hearings. This is where they were setting some hearings. Now, this is on Monday, May the 16th, 2016. He goes, I apologize for the tardiness of this response. And this is Mike Stanfield to Dan Patterson. I actually just requested and received a copy of her jail records. It hit my desk Friday, which I was waiting, because I was waiting to respond. I will have a copy made for you and brought over tomorrow. I think our legal assistants have already made it their afternoon run. There are 174 pages of records. It also includes records from Waukesha County Jail. Now, let me ask you a question. If it is known that they are doing this, the sheriff should have reported this to the DA. That is where the information should have went first. Why in the world is it the other way around? Why does Mike Stanfield have it and Dan Patterson doesn't? It's his county jail. What's going on here?
That doesn't make any sense.
No, this is completely ridiculous. Now we're on June 22nd, 2016. We need to get a time schedule to meet on Gypsy. It seems that the current fly in the ointment is Clayt. What do you mean the current fly in the ointment? He tells me this week that the only time he can meet is tomorrow after 3. I can also do Wednesday and Thursday of next week as well. Let me know. Hopefully we can come to an agreement and close this out on July the 12th. Just plead her out on July the 12th. Also, Mr. Carr, see, they're all concerned about HBO, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mr. Carr, HBO director, wishes to do an interview with Gypsy while she is here for the July the 12th hearing. She has no idea that the plea may be happening. This is just so happens to be the date that she chose a month ago to come and do this. I've been putting this off as long as possible. The punchline is that the sheriff is not responding to her request to have access to her jail for filming. The only other option would be for the judge to allow us to use a courtroom after the hearing. I just wanted to let you know that I was going to approach the judge about this. Co-conspirating to sell Gypsy Rose Blanchard right there. How much money were they being paid to sell Gypsy Rose Blanchard?
Get out of my head.
I know we're thinking the same thing. Because it is ridiculous.
Yeah, because he's pushing that. It's like blah, 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 HBO, blah, 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 HBO. They were making something. Absolutely they were. And if she went down as this heinous murderer, they wouldn't have made that much money. If she comes down as the victim, the more money for them.
That's right. And see, the thing about it is the sheriff was like, no, we're doing this by the law. The sheriff just tried to do his job the right way. That's why he didn't want to participate in this shit. So then he goes on down and so now they're writing a letter. Dan Patterson writes to the judge. This pretrial is set during my family vacation. Listen to this. I had intended to have someone handle it for me, but there is an issue that has arisen that requires me to be present. It's the HBO documentary. It is HBO.
Mm-hmm.
This is bullshit. Could we please move this pretrial by 1 week to Wednesday, July the 20th in the afternoon or Tuesday the 19th, not Monday the 18th? I will be out of town next week at a training. Oh, no. It has every bit to do with when HBO is there.
Yeah, he never mentioned the family vacation in any of his prior emails before. So now all of a sudden he has his family vacation? No. Sorry, liar.
Now, the next thing that happens over here, there's also an email here. They're a little bit out of order, but it talks about when Dan Patterson was going to go to his National Guard training because he was apparently a National Guard. And he goes, I had not had a chance to look over the jail records you sent me over. With the holiday and trying to be in a position to be out of the office June the 1st to 17th, I don't think I can get it done before I leave. May we set a day now to meet the week of June the 20th. Okay, so that happened there. Let's see what the next one is. Now this is over here on June the 14th. This is Mike to Dan. My understanding was that you and I were on somewhat of the same page as to Gypsy's involvement in the frauds her mom was committing, especially in the light of the records that I provided showing her mom was doing this when Gypsy was a child. The sheriff's statement leaves the impression that Gypsy was masterminding these frauds with her mother the entire time. This is the exact opposite of the discussion you, Clay, and I had less than 8 weeks ago. If we're not working towards a mutual resolution, please let me know immediately because I have a lot of trial prep to do. Did you hear that?
Wow.
The sheriff knew exactly what had happened here. The sheriff knew. Then he goes, this is June the 29th. Can we do it the 19th? Rod Blanchard can most likely be there that day, but the 20th is the day that he's supposed to go back out. He might be able to push that back, but he goes, but the 19th or the 20th is just a big stretch. So then he comes on down. Okay, so Rod Blanchard and Krusty need to be there. Why? She's a grown fucking adult. Okay, I said a bad word, sorry. She's a grown-ass adult. Okay, I can tell you why. HBO. And he goes, this is the 22nd. I have a pretrial at 8:30 and two reappearances in Palmetto at 9. Why don't we shoot for 9:30? I should be done by 9:30 or very close to that. Okay, so then he comes on down. Next Wednesday is good for me. He goes, next Wednesday is good for me. What time would work for you? I have a 7 o'clock meeting out of the office and should be back by 8:30. That was Dan. And now here we go, Mike to Dan. We need to get a time scheduled to meet Gypsy. It seems that the current, okay, we already saw that one. That was just another one. Let's see. And then they're talking about the 5th. Come on down. See, they're a little bit out of order, but you know, this is just how they were sent. Let's see. The 19th doesn't work. The judge goes, this is over here on, let me figure out the date. 6/29. Judge, this pretrial is okay, we already read that one. Let's go on down. I texted you back. We can do the 5th. I'll call me. Okay. He goes, this was on the 29th as well. I text you back. We can do the 5th. I would probably ask Holden to keep her here an additional week or so because the family can't come earlier because their 17-year-old daughter is having a tonsillectomy. Oh, she's going to get special treatment now. We're going to keep her over there an extra week so HBO and the family can have time with her. Mike, are you serious? She's a murderer. Oh my God. Then he goes, this was on June the 29th, and this is from Dan Patterson wrote, Holden is gone the week that we proposed. Could you do the plea Tuesday morning, July the 5th? Okay. So then he goes back. Okay, let's see. Now, June the 30th. Dan, and this is Mike to Dan. With the plea being moved up to the 5th, I'm going to make a request of the judge, but I wanted to speak with you first so we're on the same page. I may have told you this already, but Rod and Christy cannot be here on the 5th because of their daughter's tonsillectomy. They are flying up on the 12th. I'm going to ask the judge to hold Gypsy until the 13th so they can have a visit with her in in that same vein. You know, HBO wants to do their interview with her. HBO, Rod and Christy, Gypsy, and Mike, and Dan. You see what's going on here? We have already received judges' blessings to use the courtroom. Frankly, I think that this will cause less of a fuss than the jail. Yeah, because the sheriff knows what the fuck you're doing. I think it would actually be he goes, I think it would actually be a safety issue for Gypsy to have all that go on in the jail. In the judge's courtroom, no inmate will be the wiser. Okay, did you catch that? In the courtroom, no inmate will be the wiser because you're hiding the fact that you're selling her. What the hell? Tell me this don't make you sick. Tell me that there's not something wrong with this. I'm just in shock. Really, I'm in shock that it goes to this level of deceit. Dee Dee did not get justice. Then she goes, this is Dan again, Mike to Dan. I'm going to contact the judge to reaffirm that he's okay with all that. You okay with me telling him it's a plea, but we're trying to keep that quiet? So he knows why all the changes. Plus, he's going to need to be prepped for that so that he isn't surprised and say something with all the cameras there as he has a tendency to do. So we're going to shut the judge up, make sure he doesn't make mistakes, and don't let anybody know it's going to be a plea because this was part of our documentary. My announcement in open court to have her held will just be that my announcement in open court to have her held will just be that her family can't come to the plea and had already planned to fly up on the 12th. We do this regularly, so it's not a big deal. Oh, you hide it regularly? Now, Stan Patterson to the judge. And he talks about this. He's talking about, well, we're going to do it on this day, but that day, we've already read that one because he was going to be out on train. Now here's where it goes. Dan Patterson to Mike Stanfield And he goes, can we please set Gypsy Blanchard to, they're going to set it to July the 5th at 9. Leave go to John on the 7/12 as previously scheduled. Please note we have transitioned into a new email system and the extension has changed to our emails. Please update. Okay, that doesn't matter. Go back down here. Yes, Judge Holden is available, blah, blah, blah. Then make sure the judge is available. Let's go down and see what this one says. Let's see. The pretrial. And we've already read that one. It's about his family vacation. Okay, now this is going to be Dan Patterson on the 29th of June. We have a trial set and the issues are different for each defendant in the pretrial. Could we please schedule Blanchard for the 19th and go to John for the 20th? Okay. And they're talking about those dates again. It's going down. This is like only 50 pages or 58 pages, so we'll get to the bottom in just a minute. We'll get back to what we're watching. Except for Miss Blanchard is a draft plea agreement. So Dan to Mike says, oh, it's a draft plea agreement so far. And then he goes, June the 30th. With the plea being moved up to the 5th, I'm going to make a request for the judge, but I wanted to speak with you first. So, okay, is this the same thing we already read? Yes, the same thing. We already read that one. Okay, it's going down. Let's see what this one is. Okay, they're just talking about what dates will work. I think that's the end of this. I think that's the end of all the colluding together to freaking do not do justice for Dee Dee Blanchard. So this is from Dan Patterson, and it includes Mike Stanfield, family visit and HBO interview. Plea form felony 2 Friday. Yes, what you propose below is all fine, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's go on down. I think that is the end of this. Okay, that's the end of that right there. But I'm going to ask you something. Doesn't that make you absolutely sick knowing that those two did that? And this is why Gypsy Rose Blanchard only got 10 years. It is so wrong all the way around. Let's watch a little more of this. Whew.
And probably just told him the truth. Like, yes, I could walk. Not knowing, because I didn't know what Munchausen by proxy was.
When you reflect back upon the procedures.
Except she was an adult.
What were all the procedures that the doctors ended up doing?
So the most prominent ones were, of course, the feeding tube. Now, my mother claimed that I was having trouble swallowing.
You hear that? We know she was having problems swallowing. We know she was. Absolutely know she was. Oh my gosh, she's such a liar.
Now, I have no recollection of ever having any eating issues. The surgery happened when I was 8. So from birth all the way to 8 years old.
Hang on a minute. She already knew she could walk at 8 years old. She should have said something. She's in a hospital. She could have said something to somebody about, I don't have to be in that wheelchair, I can walk. Okay, but she didn't. She kept on with her little ruse.
Eating perfectly fine.
Yes.
No issues. Then all of the things, going to the hospital, having issues eating. And they had put the temporary feeding tube through the nostril. And then the doctor said, we want to do something more permanent. How about let's do a G tube?
Wow, I didn't realize you had a permanent feeding tube.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get past that. I don't want to hear him talk.
Drool. It's excessive drooling. There is a way to take care of that.
Every one of these symptoms that she's talking about is part of her chromosome problems. Every one of them, every symptom. Go watch Becca Scoops. Go watch. Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm getting frustrated because I'm so upset. Yeah, about the lie. Oh, yeah, the chromosome disorder. Yes.
Audacious Audrey too. She has a lot of information.
Yeah, that's another good one. Audacious Audrey. She has some good ones. Yeah. Okay, here we go.
So let's remove the salivary glands.
Wow. And I mean, that's amazing.
Is me wheelchair. I didn't get up and walk around unless she was not in the house. So if she left the house to, say, go to the grocery store for a second, I would get up and walk around. I would test the limits.
I'm ready to play.
You have a
I hear you doing
child
dishes.
that wants her mom to love her.
Yes. Yes. You know, that really hit me because
Uh-uh.
safe emotionally or physically
Hang on a minute.
back as an adult is
Calm down.
safe emotionally or physically.
I just want to listen to her.
There was anger towards her for, I felt, allowing my grandfather to take care of me at that time. And so I blamed her
Okay, Cinderella, that's cool.
for
Thank
what
you.
happened to me with getting molested. And there was resentment that boiled up.
We know that no charges were ever filed. There's no proof that ever happened. And the only person saying that is who? Gypsy. Now,
Yeah.
when you know that somebody has lied about every single thing, are you going to believe that?
Yeah, and I mean, I saw the interview with the grandpa. I mean, and you certainly don't know by just looking at somebody, but you tend to, kind of get your gut feeling on people. And
Yeah.
I don't feel like that man was guilty of that. I really don't.
I don't think so either. Because it wouldn't have been just her. It would have been other kids saying the same thing. You know that, right?
Yeah, it's not just isolated to one.
Right. I don't believe he did that either. Okay.
Yeah.
Loved playing outside. I loved, as a small child, I had a bunch of cousins, and we'd do cousins by the dozens nights. All the cousins would come over and do sleepovers.
But I thought you didn't have
I
a
loved to
regular
watch
childhood.
TV.
What? What'd you say?
I thought she didn't have a normal
Go ahead.
childhood.
What'd you say?
Yeah, she didn't
That's
have a
right, she
normal
didn't, did
childhood,
she?
remember? Yeah, no. So she wouldn't have cousins by the dozens and sleepovers because she wasn't allowed any of that.
She was so miserable. She was so abused that she couldn't play with anybody. She was kept in the house and hidden. Right?
Mhm.
That's what she says. Damn.
Loved dressing up. Loved Disney movies. Loved playing with my dolls and Hot Wheels. Like, my toys and my mom was like
Oh, she never played with
my
Hot Wheels.
comfort.
Okay. I
I love dressing up. Right. And you still play that game. You still play that game, Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
And I think she's told lies for so long. I honestly
Right.
don't think the girl knows what the truth is at this point. I really don't. Because she has lied for how many years? 30 some odd years at this point?
Right.
He doesn't have a
That
clue
is
what's
true.
true and what's not anymore. Because, you can tell a lie and then you tell it so often that you tend to believe it to be the truth because you've told that lie so much. I really believe that she doesn't have a fucking clue. Oh, sorry. What is true and what's not.
Well, I know about this is because we've heard Mark Feldman say it out of his own mouth. Out of his own mouth. And it's in black and white. It is written, it is in video, it's everywhere. Exactly what Mark Feldman said. She's a sociopath. The thing about the sociopath is, they believe exactly what they're saying. It's always everybody else. It's never them.
Mhm. Well, she's a narcissist
I can
too.
see how she
Right. Sociopath with narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm. Like all the rest of the criminals that we talk
used
about.
the toy store because that was
The toy store here. Look at Pat. I don't want to listen to him talk. I just want to hear her talk.
I can't believe
It's
the
like my
lack
toy
of
and my
research that man did.
Me too. I don't know why. I guess because, you know what? Now, we've heard other people say that when she agrees to talk to them, they have to sign a disclosure about what they can ask her about and what they can't ask her about. And I'm sure he's only asking what he's allowed to ask. So he could have the
But-
interview, and I'm sure he paid her for this.
But wouldn't you do your own research just so that when you did ask the question, you could see if the person was telling the truth or not telling? I mean, I would still research it.
But even
And
if
then
he, I mean, he could
And then
not
if I
discuss that.
No, but if say I'm gonna have her on my podcast. I know nothing about her. I'm gonna
Right.
research it. I'm gonna find out everything. And then when
Right.
she hands me a list of questions that I can ask, from the research that I've done, those questions are going to become like a red flag because I know the truth. So therefore, do I want to continue with this interview or do I not?
Oh, no,
Because
he wanted the interview, and I'll tell you why. He doesn't care whether she lies to him or not. See? Because he wanted the interview. Because this is big bucks. He paid her a little money for it, but this is big bucks, girl. A lot of money came out of this
yeah,
deal
but
right here.
he's also going to lose a lot of people. So is it really going to profit him in the end for the damage that it's going to do? Is he going to make that
I don't
much
think he
money?
cares. I really don't think he gives a crap. Right. I don't think he cares.
I would be curious to see how many followers he had prior to her interview and now to see
Yeah.
if what he's lost.
Well, I'm pretty sure we could probably go find that somewhere, you know? But it
Yeah,
would take more than,
in a
we have
video.
to do that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, let's listen to her lie a little bit more.
Was like my comfort.
Okay. And I can see how she used the toy store because that was
Hang on.
about your life.
Yeah.
It centers around your childhood, the crime. Was there anything that you want to clarify that you've seen or heard about from these documentaries that you do believe is inaccurate?
That's a loaded question.
You know why it's a loaded question? Because she would have to tell the truth right there, and she's never going to tell the truth, ever. Ever. Don't even expect
I
it.
mean, nothing that I could really touch on specifically. I mean, all I know is that, from birth to, 5 years oldish, the simplicity of having my mom, even with the medical stuff. I loved my mom so much at that time. My mom was my world.
Okay, let me get past this right here. I don't want to hear him talk.
Thing
Mm-hmm.
that you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with the next part. Okay, hang on a minute, guys. I know this is kind of like,
Out to hurt
oh, sorry.
everyone. So my mom never, my mom wanted me to be a nun, literally, and she was going to put me in a convent. She really wanted me to be a nun, even though I never expressed to her that I wanted to be one. So knowing that, I always knew she didn't want me to date. You can't stop the curiosity in a child or a teen. And that's where I was at. I was curious about the opposite sex. I was wondering.
Okay, but wait a minute, though. What she's failing to tell the guy is at what age did she start being this way, right? Because we know that she was never normal. Like we know, like teenage girls, we remember being teenage girls, we remember all that. But hers was a little different and has nothing to do with anything her mother did. It is her chromosome disorder that caused her to be this way. Okay? That is, and I mean, you could go look it up yourself and it will tell you all the symptoms and things that can happen to the kids that are diagnosed with this.
So-and-so lives down the street. She has a boyfriend.
Right.
And I started comparing my life to other, people around my age. Watching the Disney Channel, they have these sort of pseudo boyfriends on TV shows and stuff.
Yes.
So I started getting curious, but I got curious in the wrong way. So instead of, obviously kids meet other kids via school. I wasn't in school. So I went to the internet.
She does have an education. She was homeschooled. And the neighbors talk about her classroom in that house. They know that she was being homeschooled. She was, so that is, when she tries to say she had no education, that is a lie. Just get that through your head. She had a homeschool type schooling. Here we go.
And I found creeps on the internet. I did things on the internet I'm not proud of, like take my clothes off for strangers. these men that I would, meet online, they were predatory. And
Okay, but you know the reason why she got into that? Because she was going behind her mother's back and getting on the internet. She had no real direction about any of it. So of course that's going to happen. If you don't discuss these kind of things with your kids, that's exactly what's going to happen. If you don't monitor what they're doing on the internet, that's exactly what's going to happen. So yeah, you love it. Thank you, Cinderella. I'm so glad you love it. I want, I always want to hear the truth. I don't want to hear the damn lies. And when I saw this and all the lies, I'm like, oh my God, my face was red. That's how upset I was. My husband's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, listen to this. And he goes, he's like, don't even get started. Don't even get started. So I just have to hold it to myself until I could come on the internet and talk to you guys about it. Because he does not want me to talk about that to him. Anyway, let's keep going.
I wasn't thinking anything different other than, yeah, this is an experience that I've had before.
So it's normal.
It was normal. So it's kind of like
I get past that just a little bit. I
don't know if you know what Comic-Con is.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Or like a sci-fi convention type of thing. So there was one that would happen in Springfield, Missouri every year. It was called VisionCon.
Okay.
And so anyway, my mom takes us to this convention, and we meet lots of nice people. We have a great time. I dressed up like a princess.
Okay.
Like, it was fun. I started adding all these people that went to the convention on my Facebook.
Okay.
But wait a minute. Now let's tell the truth about this though. Her mother thought there was only one Facebook account that they had together. But then you go back out to the FOIAs, and she had a few Facebook pages that were just hers that she was hiding from her mom. So Gypsy was always extremely manipulative, right? And she was hiding things from her mother all over the place. And I can understand how her mother did not realize what was happening. Because you got to understand, as Gypsy aged and Dee Dee got sicker and sicker, she did not have the stamina to keep up, or she just couldn't keep up with everything this child's doing, right? So the diabetes was so out of control. Here we go. Okay, come on now, play. Oh, I gotta hit the button.
And they would say like, oh, it was so nice to see you at the convention. So at least there was some level of like interaction, like, oh, you were at the convention, so was I. And there was a guy that was
She's fixing to talk to us about Dan Gladwell, but she's not going to tell the whole truth. She's going to only tell parts of the truth. Now, if you've watched any of these other anything about her, or read any of the FOIAs, or watched any of the other channels that we watched, Audacious Oddity, Becca Scoops, Into the Weeds, and some of the others, you do know that she had a great social life. She was going places all the time. They were always doing something. She was not just sitting in the room in that wheelchair being mistreated. That's all a lie. Here we go. Let's talk about Dan.
At the convention, he sent me a Facebook request. His name was Dan, and he was much older than I was. So I was real age 18.
Okay.
18.
Okay. See, she knew her real age the whole time. Remember, she tried to lie. She's in the interview room. She's saying, "Well, I'm 19. I'm, lying. The lying liar who comes from Liarsville. Look at that evil face. Look at those right there. Her side-eyeing us. As we're telling everybody, she's lying right there. She always knew her real age.
19. But my mom was trying to pass me off as 15. Okay, so he thought that I was 15.
Okay.
He was 36 at the time.
Okay.
But you know what? Even at 18, 36 years old is way too old for her to be talking to. Period. Damn it. Her eyes are black. You know what, Cinderella? We've talked about this before, haven't we? What's the one thing all of these sociopaths have in common? Adam Montgomery, Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, and Letitia Stout. They all have black eyes. See, all of them. When you see them on TV or video, whatever, their eyes are black. All devils right here.
Started talking on Facebook, and just on Facebook. I thought he was cute. And he was kind of digging me too.
Okay. Is this your first kind of interaction, pseudo romantic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we flirted for a while, and then I start telling him more about my life. And
Okay. She's telling us right here that Murdaugh, you're right, Cinderella, Murdaugh has black eyes as well. Exactly. She's telling us right here. A lot of people knew the truth about her. She had explained this also to Dan Gladwell. So all of these people saying, oh, I didn't know she could walk it. You're all lying. Why? There was no point in lying about the fact that you all knew that this was a lie and that Gypsy and her mother did it together.
my mom had caught us talking on the phone, and she threatened him.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I was going through my mom's purse, and I found my...
Listen to what she said. I was going through my mom's purse. She's fixing to tell a lie right here, and I'm going to tell you why. Because she just said, well, I was 18, blah, blah, blah. But now she's going to tell us that a different lie right here. Here we go.
Like my health insurance card, and it said my birthday was 1991. And so I'm like, that would make me like 18, 19, not 15. So I tell this to him, and I'm like, well, that would make me legal. Like, I can go live with you. Like, you know, like all this sort of like ideas.
Yes.
And he's like, well, if you're legal, then you could just get up and leave. Like, you could leave. And I'm like, I don't have a car. I don't have a way to leave. And so he's like,
wait a minute. Remember, the boyfriend, Dan Gladwell, got his ass beat down. He's in the hospital. And she finds a ride over to the hospital. Yes, ma'am, you did have a way to leave. Stop the lying. You enjoyed the grift, you enjoyed the money, you enjoyed the free trips, and you knew that all you had to do was play like a little girl, and it's all good, right? Go ahead. Let's tell us another lie.
Take you as far as Arkansas. Like, we can live together on a ranch in Arkansas. So 2 weeks go by, I get a text from him that he's in the hospital, that he wants me to join him in the hospital. He wants someone to be there with him. He got beat up. So I pack a bag, and...
But she's never going to admit the reason why he got beat up. He got caught with somebody else's wife. That's why he got beat up right there. That's the truth. That is the truth.
And in the middle of the night, I get out of my mom's bed, pack a bag, go out the front door, hitchhike, meet him at the hospital, and he didn't have a home. He was couch surfing at his friends. And so we go to his friends. They realize that I'm there, and they recognize me from the convention. And they realize this girl is 15 years old. So they...
No. Dan Gladwell knew how old she was. Stop the lying.
They got in contact with a mutual friend of my mom's. Told my mom where I was. 4 hours later, my mom comes to pick me up.
Oh, my goodness.
And...
Okay, listen, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, right there. All you had to do was say, no, Mom, I'm 18 years old. I can do whatever I want to do. But you know why she didn't do that? Because this is when she figured out Dan Gladwell had nothing to offer her, that he was actually couch surfing. He didn't really have a home anywhere. So I'm just going to go home with my mom because this ain't going to work out very well because he has nothing to offer me. He can't take care of me. That's what the truth is. Keep on. Let's go.
She told me, she's like, if you come back with me, I'll let you see him. Manipulation to the fullest. So I get in the car. I'm like, okay. And I mean, at this time, I'm like all courage. And I'm like, I know I'm 19 and I know that I could see him.
Yes.
And she's like, if you come back with me, I will let you see him. So I go back with my mom. And that's when I got chained, tied to me.
This right here is a lie. Okay, she was not chain tied. No, this is all a lie that she made up to make her mother look terrible. We know the reason why she was not seeing Dan is because he had no home. She could not run off with him. He had no place for her to go. Okay, here we go.
All these, words restrained to the bed happened for 2 weeks.
Did not happen.
For 2 weeks.
I felt like it was a need. Like she needs me because she doesn't have anyone else.
Okay.
And so it's like after she tied me up, I gained enough trust to where I'm like, I'm not going to leave again. I'm not going to leave again. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to leave.
I'm skipping past that because I don't want to hear that lie. I just don't want to hear her lie like that. Come on, y'all. We'll just skip past that right there. Okay, go ahead.
And then after that happened, like, we both had this moment of like, sit on the bed, holy shit moment. And I was never the type to be violent, ever. I never yelled at my mom. I never hit my mom. It was at that moment that I realized that something in me snapped, that I could snap in that big of a way.
And what was your mother's response?
I honestly feel like she never expected to be trapped in her own choices. Her own design was falling apart in front of her. And I don't think that she realized that, and I don't mean this in any sort of mean way, but I don't think she realized I had the guts to stand up for myself in any meaningful way.
And so is it at this point where you
just let me just date anybody? So maybe if she meets you, she could see what a nice person you are and she'll like you. You could be my friend. And then like I can ask her if, you could maybe be my boyfriend. And then we wouldn't have to hide or lie anymore. Like, so we think of this event. Like where possibly could I be?
You know what's strange about this? In this interview, she never tells him about the fact that she shot her mom with a pellet gun and her mother had to go to the hospital because she had 30 pellet wounds. It's in the records. They have Dee Dee's records and they have where they picked out 30 pellets on her mom. She don't bother to tell him that part, does she? No, because that makes her look exactly what she is, violent. There we go. All right.
And I wanted to see the new Cinderella remake, the live action remake.
Okay.
That came out in 2015. So we decide, okay, that's where we're going to meet up. So my mom and I are going to go see the movie and you're going to be there too to see the movie, but we're not together.
I don't believe she also tells him, I don't believe she's going to tell him, oh, when I sent him money for clothes, I sent him money for the bus ticket. She picked out what he was going to wear. And you got to understand there's a little bit of this that happens when her mother was a little bit put off because of how he's dressed. She didn't understand it. But that is because Gypsy picked what he was going to wear, right? Gypsy told him what to do when they met. So that is part of this here. Now, there's another part of this that she's not going to tell. They were in the movie theater and they sat together. Her mother took a picture of them together. Her mother took that picture. She didn't take that picture. Here we go.
We're going to meet like we never met.
I see it.
Okay. So we're standing in line, comes the day, we're standing in line, getting popcorn and stuff like that. And he's there alone. But I didn't realize the optics of how that would look. Like, here's this guy that's alone, doesn't have kids, doesn't have a girlfriend, doesn't have a wife, nothing like that. Just go and see a little girl movie. I did not see how that would be weird.
Until you got there.
Until years later, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that was kind of creepy. Like, what were we thinking? But my mom called it. She's like, this guy is giving me weird vibes. And so we're in the auditorium.
I'm going to tell you what. Okay, we're going to talk about that for just a second, and we're going to go back to this. See, the thing about it is Dee Dee realized that Mr. Godejohn was intellectually not appropriate. He is stuck at the age of 15 or 16 years old. Now, Dee Dee could tell he was older than that, but she also realized he had some challenges. And this is what she tried to explain to Gypsy over here. Now, the thing is, Gypsy already knew that. Gypsy honed in on that quickly because she knew that is how she could manipulate him into doing what he did. So there's a little battle that happens right there. She's not going to tell this guy that, is she? Hell no.
And my mom and I are sitting next to each other. Well, he comes sit next to me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My mom decides, hey, this guy's kind of giving me the creeps. So she moves several seats down. I stay put. I'm sitting with him. I'm not moving. She gets pissed that I didn't move with her. So throughout the whole movie, you know, she's sitting there and I'm sitting over there with
You hear
him.
this? You hear this? You hear that right there. Because Dee Dee allowed them to sit together. She allowed them to sit together. That's why.
She's mad at me at this point. Like, I know I'm in trouble at this point.
Yes.
And he and I had previously discussed that we were going to have sex in the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, to the men's bathroom, go to the handicap stall. He follows me in. We attempt to have sex. Doesn't work out.
Okay.
Do you hear what she said? We attempt to have sex, but it doesn't work out. But now remember, a little bit on down, she tells Mr. Godejohn, my mama made me lose our baby because she knew that would piss him off enough that he would actually agree to kill her mother. That is the little parts that she's going to leave out of all of this, the damn facts. Here we go.
And I go back, sit next to my mom. She proceeds to take me to the bathroom on the opposite side, slaps me across the face, and says, "You were gone too long. What were you doing?" So I was like, nothing. You know, of course I'm going to say nothing.
Right.
So the movie ends. We leave. He takes a cab back to his hotel. And we have a huge argument at the house.
You and your mother.
Me and my mom.
Okay.
About how she got the creeps from this guy. Like, why I didn't go sit with her. Like, the smallest little things would just kind of set her off. So I'm like, I'm sorry. I was just trying to make a new friend. You know, I was doing my best to kind of like bridge that connection. Because I really wanted both of them in my life. I wanted my mom in my life. And I wanted Nick in my life. And she was not budging. She got a bad vibe from him from the beginning.
You and Nick then just continue messaging back and forth.
Get past him talking.
I will never be able to be my own person, never have my own freedom, never make my own choices. I'll never get married. Like, all of the thoughts of like, what is my life going to be like in the next 20 and 30 years? Is it going to be like this right here? Is my life going to continue to be this for the rest of my life? My youth gone? Any happy moments of future children? Anything like this?
Okay, but see, she's leaving out a lot of parts because here's another part about this. She already knew her mother was extremely ill. She made statements in a video that she sent to Nick about, I'm not spending another 20 or 30 years here taking care of her. Okay? So she's just giving bits and pieces of things that happen. Only the pieces that make her look innocent is what's going on here. I am disgusted by this interview.
How long is this going to continue? And that thought kept going in my head over and over and over again. So yes, the desperate thought of, I want my mom out of the picture. And it's like, I didn't want her dead necessarily. If she would have went to prison, I would have been all the happier. But that unfortunately was a conversation he and I had.
Okay. So you had it.
And she's not going to tell who started
It was
the
the
conversation.
gasoline, I was the fire. Separately, probably not dangerous. Together, catastrophic. because he brought a component to me and I brought a component to him that resulted in tragedy. His conversations with me was predominantly about sex. It was predominantly about overpowering a woman.
Wait a minute. Y'all do remember we have heard other people and we've seen them, the text messages, we've seen the videos where she brought, even Dan Gladwell said, Gypsy discussed BDSM with him. So blaming all of this on Nick is completely, she just lies and lies and lies and lies. And here's what's weird about this. Now, Cinderella, Sprinkle, help me with this. Here's what's weird about this right here. Because the FOIAs are out there. Everybody knows the truth. And she sits and lies without even blinking an eye. Like it's no big deal. Like she can just snap her fingers, shove a lie, and everybody's going to believe it. That's what shocks me about her. But
Well, it's because
when you think about sociopath,
because she does have a handful of people that do believe her. So she holds on to those and she disregards all the people that don't.
it's in black and white everywhere.
I know.
That's what's shocking. Yeah. Oh my God. All right.
Because he had an interest in this BDSM.
Yeah, I knew she was going to go there.
Master-slave relationship. And he had this with his ex-girlfriends as well. So it
That was a lie right there. He did not know what that was. She brought it to him. That's a lie right there.
It was before me, during me, and after me. So this is not something I brought to the relationship. This is something that he had a thing for. And I had not heard of this sort of master-slave relationship until meeting him.
Yeah. Isn't she so full of shit? I mean, it's almost comical. You almost want to bust out laughing because he's sitting here, the interviewer's sitting here looking at her like, But do you think in the back of his mind, do you think that he knows for a fact that she's lying to him? Or do you think he never went and looked at any of the FOIAs and he doesn't know the truth? I know we talked about this a minute ago, but it's just in my mind about how can you not say, Gypsy? Now I know that's not true, but he won't say anything. He just, God. Here we go.
And so I did what I could to fulfill that fantasy for him. And that included making videos that we would send back and forth to each other. Those videos have now been released to the public.
Is that because of the court case or for
Yes.
other reasons? Okay.
Yes. They are quite humiliating because these videos were intimate. They're not meant for the public. They were meant for Nick and only at the time. But anything from, doing sexual acts to saying really disturbing things that I definitely regret later on now.
Right. I think what's important.
I don't want to hear him talk, so we're going to move past that and let her talk. There we go.
Someone who was in a very specific situation, vulnerable situation, to fill out his fantasies. He often had fantasies that were very disturbing.
Could you be open to say?
Well, hang on a minute. We're going to stop and talk for just a second as we need to. But anyway, Gypsy, you had those same fantasies. See, the thing is, the person that we see today out on the streets is not the real Gypsy. The thing about Gypsy Rose Blanchard is she learned how to mimic and what looks appropriate in social. And that's what she does. If you notice that when you look back, she was always changing into somebody else. She was always being never herself, always somebody else. That I found and the thing about it is, let me ask y'all this too. Here's another question I've got for everybody. Where's Rod and Christy? This came out, all these things have come out. Where's Rod and Christy? You don't hear them out there saying anything. It's like they have just backed off completely. They don't Nothing. They're quiet. They're shut down. They're quiet. Why? Is there no more money to be made? Is she fading out of the spotlight? So they're done. They're washing their hands. That's what it seems like to me.
Rape fantasies. And he was looking for someone who was not worldly and experienced. So someone in a very vulnerable state to live out these fantasies with or to.
Okay.
And
notice she fails to tell him Nick Godejohn is a little mentally challenged, that he has, what's wrong with him, and that he's actually living like he's 15 or 16 because of his challenges. She never tells him any of that, because if she tells him that, then he's going to realize, if he never looked at the FOIAs and all that other stuff, just how manipulative and dangerous this chick is. It is disgusting, shocking. Anyway, let's go.
like I said, it would be one thing if, I brought a certain element into the relationship that was equally as disturbing. Like if those were my desires, but it wasn't. And before me, his ex-girlfriends did warn me.
Oh,
there was an ex-girlfriend that
his ex-girlfriend said he's a little controlling. She never said anything about BDSM, rape, or any of those other things. She never said anything about that. Okay?
It did warn me that he has very disturbing behavioral patterns, and I brushed it off like, she's just a jealous ex-girlfriend, and I completely ignored it. And then until it was too late. And then also post our relationship, he's went on to have another relationship, prison relationships. And
what did she expect him to do? Sit around and wait for her forever? He already realized that she used him and threw him away. Of course he's going to have another relationship. But here's my question. Why does she know that, and how does she know that? Who is she staying in contact with that is in contact with Nick Godejohn? There's somebody out there.
And where he continues the same cycles over and over again.
Okay. Going to the crime.
Already. And it was a rough surgery. And so the thought,
she was not set up to have another surgery. This is another lie right here. There was no surgery planned, period. Her mother bought a car small enough that her wheelchairs would not fit in. Her mother was looking for some place for her to go. Her mother was done. Her mother was tired of being rocked. She was stealing money from her mother. She's taking her mother's medicine, and her mother was extremely ill. She was just done. And this witch, yeah.
thought of going through another procedure that I'm like, well, this time you're gonna start messing with my voice, and that's terrifying. I felt like, how much more are you gonna take from me?
And so June 10th.
And
okay, hang on a minute, guys. Hang on a minute. In those records, there is a statement made by her that her mother died on June the 9th. Well, we know Nick Godejohn got there June the 10th. Now, what's going on there? It's in the records. What's going on there? I wish I could find it real quick. I would read it to you. Hang on.
Laid down. She took a little longer to fall asleep, and then I fell asleep. Then I woke up shortly, like 5 minutes after she fell asleep. And I texted him that she fell asleep.
I can't read it.
And I said, the gloves are on the porch. And he's like, okay, I'm taking a cab over. And he didn't knock on the door. He texted me, he's like, I'm here. So I get up out of bed and I walk over, open the door. First thing he said when he comes to the door is, this bitch is dead.
That's what she says, but he never said he said that, okay? That's the only person that said that was her.
And I told him, like, be quiet, be quiet. And he's like, where's the knife? So I hand him the knife, and he said, get your bleeping ass to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, I close the door, I lock the door behind me.
Wait. I locked the door behind me. She said he locked me in the bathroom. Remember that statement? I know y'all remember that statement. She just said, I locked the door behind me.
I just kind of get into the fetal position and I cover my ears. And that's what happened.
She's leaving out a whole lot about what happened right there. Number one, when you look at the pictures, hang on a second. I don't know how it, you know what, never mind. We've all seen the pictures of that house. There was no way there was no room in that bathroom for her to crouch down like that. There was no room. Remember, there was a cat shitty box next to the toilet. There was wheelchairs in there. It was a complete wreck. There was no place to crouch down. She's lying. Yeah.
If and at any point you don't want to discuss this, we can move on. A few questions though that I have is, so going into that day, it sounds like over the last maybe you've known Nick now for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
You have discussed murder previously with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's had fantasies of raping, murdering.
Mm-hmm.
How did you know? Why did you believe that it was actually going to happen on this day?
I honestly didn't think that he was gonna go through with it. And
did you hear that line? She is the one that said, it's time, we're doing it now. She's the one. She knew all along that he was going to go through with it. He is the one that kept saying, no, let me just come get you. Let me just come get you. Just come away with me. Let's just run away. Don't, I don't want to kill your mom. But then she put it to him like, she gave him no other alternative. If you want to be with me, you're going to do this. That's the truth. What she's saying right here is not the truth.
Till it actually happened. And then after it happened, there was a point where I didn't process what happened. He was walking around the house and talking at a normal voice tone. And I was like, shh, you're going to wake her up. Like there was a level of distance from the situation where like she was dead in the other room and I'm still thinking, I'm afraid she's going to wake up, see you in the house and, punish me in some type of way.
So she's 23 years old. She's 23 years old when this happens. She's going to wake up and punish you? What? When you can just walk out the door at any time at 23 years old. Go ahead, Sprinkle.
No, I agree with you. I said, yeah. It's just perplexing.
I mean, how are you sitting here telling this guy, I thought I was going to be in trouble, she's going to wake up, blah, blah, at 23 years old?
Yeah.
Her mother could barely do anything. Her mother's diabetes was so out of control. Her mother was so ill.
Well, you and I have always been one to say that she didn't want to take care of her mom.
That's right.
She
never
didn't
wanted
want
to take care of her.
She didn't want to be burdened with the care of Dee Dee.
This is true.
And then what is she going to do for money if, Dee Dee's gone? She doesn't have any skills. She has no skills.
Let me explain something to y'all that's also in these records. Hang on a minute. What's also in these records is the truth comes out that they were both getting Social Security checks. Both of them.
Oh, both of them?
Yes, they were getting money from Rod and Social Security. They were not broke. Okay,
no,
that's in the records.
But if Dee Dee was gone, then Gypsy's how is she going to support herself? You know what I mean?
She was 23 years old, still getting Social Security disability. You know, getting a little some kind of Medicaid or Social Security check.
Yeah, that's not going to. Well, she probably could have stayed in that house.
But see, Nick Dotajon was also getting a Social Security check. They were both getting checks.
Yeah.
But she's not going to tell nobody about that, is she?
Did you go to see your mother?
No.
That's a lie.
No, I did not go in that room.
That is a lie because there is proof that she cleaned the blood up from her mother's room all the way into the bathroom and some other places she was cleaning up blood. There's also, I know we've seen these pictures, I know you have, of where her mother kept this money bag in the nightstand next to her bed. She had to go in there and get the money out of the nightstand too. There were a few things that she took out of her mother's room and then they left. Now, I will tell you this as well. She says, oh, and he graved me. No, he did not, and I'll tell you why. All of her toys and shit were still on that bed. When you look at the pictures, you're going, wait a minute. Would they stop and put all the toys and stuff back on the bed? Because at one point she says, he made me take all my toys off the bed and then he graved me. Well, did he stop and put it all back on the bed? Is that what happened here? She lied about that too. Lied about that too.
Nick actually, anytime, because her room is like right here, my room was right here, and then there's the hall. And so he would block her room. So anytime I was walking in and out of my room, he would block the area. So I couldn't see.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I know that you're aware of how severe the murder was.
My room.
This
he
is
would
where it gets
block
great.
the area. So I couldn't see.
Okay. Now, I know that you're aware of how severe the murder was, and I understand he used the knife that you provided him, and
He used the knife that you provided him. That's what you're saying.
that the stabbing was so severe that it almost severed her head. Did he talk about the murder at all?
No.
There was no discussion.
No discussion of it. Not after the fact. No.
Okay.
No, in fact, you know what? They're at the hotel and she starts going off about the brownie video. And you know what? He had asked her to turn that camera. He wanted that camera turned off because he was actually crying. He felt guilty about what he had done. He was not able to perform, sexually because he was upset about what he had done. And then he did notice she didn't even care. She's just laughing, carrying on, having a good old time. I know he saw that, and I know he was shocked. I know he was.
Did you, when in the bathroom, because I would imagine there was a tussle, there was a fight that ensued. Did you?
Okay. Now, there's also something that I don't know if anybody's really ever paid attention to, but other creators have now talked about this. I noticed that there were bloody tie-downs in the pictures from the scene, okay? One of them was left in the yard. I don't know how it got in the yard, but one was left in the yard. Her mother could not fight back because she was tied. That is why there are bloody tie-downs in the bed that were found. They didn't use no duct tape. That is a lie. Oh, I wish I could find that picture right this minute. Let me see if I can find, I don't know if I can. I want to find that picture, but I don't want to mess our feet up and get thrown out. I mean, I just want to show it to you, but I don't know if I can. Let's see. It's not right there. Starred. Let me see if I have it starred. No. Oh, anyway, we'll just keep watching this. But I know y'all have seen pictures.
Yes.
God, I wish I could find that.
What can you say? What did you hear?
I heard screaming, and it was like horrible sound. It was a horrible sound. It was screaming. It was shock. I almost think I heard who are you was asked. And I am right, because
How do you know?
according to some of the transcripts of Nick's testimony and other inmates that had talked to him, she had asked, "Who are you?" And he responded, "I am death."
Well, he did tell her that the person that was going to do this was Victor, his dark side, not Nick. Remember that? We all know that. Here we go.
So I do know that that was probably what I heard. And I remember her calling out for my name, and like I wanted to go and help her. Like I felt like I wanted to go and help her, but I was terrified at the same time. Like my body was paralyzed. I couldn't move. And I just kept remembering, breathe. Remember to just breathe. And I kept telling myself in that mind, just breathe. And I was so focused on like trying to breathe and block it out. And I just remember one sharp scream and then nothing after that. And then I realized it was over. And then he came to the bathroom door and knocked for me to open up the door.
What did he say?
Now hang on a second.
Um,
I'm going to shut this down hang on a second. I'm going to show y'all exactly what I'm talking about. These are real pictures from the crime scene, and this is the tie down. Okay, so just bear with me for a second. I'm going to take this off of here. I'm only going to show it for a minute because I really don't want to show horrible things, but it's important for you to understand this is the truth. This is the truth right here. See that? These are strips of material. These were tie downs right here. That's what that was. Little strips of material. Okay? So that is a fact. It is not somebody making it up. That is the truth. All right. Let me share the screen back to what we're watching. Okay. It's horrible, isn't it?
he didn't, I don't think, say anything. He had cut his finger. And so he wanted me to bandage him up. And he wanted me to be completely naked when I opened up the door. And so I was completely naked. And he wanted me to hug him. So there was this sort of embrace where...
Because he felt terrible about what he just did. He did not want to do that. He does have remorse.
I was in a state of shock that I couldn't believe what happened.
You asked him to. Oh my God.
And
Yeah, how can you be in
now I better understand
shock
knowing
when something you
his
Right.
previous.
Come on now.
Right. When you read all of the emails, the text, the picture is so easy to
You
see.
planned this. You wanted this. This is exactly what you wanted.
And you were 23 years old. You're not a child. You're not 12 years old. You know exactly what was going to happen. You knew he was going to do it. You told him to come then. You could have told him at any
Got him
time
the knife.
to
for
do it.
God's sake.
Right.
Yeah, you handed him the knife.
She stole that knife from Walmart.
Yeah, of course she did.
Yeah.
Of course she did.
Oh my God. You know what I hope? Well, I don't think that Rod and Christy will ever look at the FOIAs because they don't want to know the truth, see? They don't want to have to admit the truth about what she is. They're not going to do it. So I wonder if when they watch this, they thought to themselves, well, now she's just telling a few lies right here. Or if they said, oh, yeah, that's right, because that's what they want to believe. Okay?
Right.
Desires and BDSM and what he had said to you previously. Now I understand why he said, when I come to the door, you should be naked. I understand that he then assaulted you.
Yes.
Listen to this. Okay.
I felt like that
Okay, go ahead.
was too far. I was like, no, I will not, do it to me instead. And he said, fine. That's
You know what though? Nick has said he never wanted to grape Dee Dee. Well, the one thing we know about Nick Godejohn is he told the truth. Okay, he told the truth. He told what happened.
that's the price you have to pay then. If you don't want me to do that to your mom, you're going to have to let me do it to you. And I agreed. So come to that point, keep in mind, I was a virgin.
Whoa! Whoa!
Come to that point.
She was not a virgin. That is a lie right there.
She just got through telling us that they tried to have sex in the
bathroom
at the movie theater.
Remember, she went to the hotel room with Dan Gladwell at Comic-Con.
Right. Yeah, she's not a virgin. She's not a virgin. Virgin my ass.
Damn.
I guess I agreed to something I didn't fully understand. And
at 23 years old,
you didn't understand. You didn't understand it, but you just had a previous conversation with him about having sex with your daughter. Tell me you didn't understand it. Come on.
That's right. Yeah. You just see how aggravating this is, knowing all the things we know and watching this and listening to her, and she's not even batting an eyelash while she sits and lies to this man.
It comes out just like butter. It just comes out just like butter out of her mouth, just smooth and
like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all I'll say about that.
Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that, because she knows she's lying. Here we go.
Okay. And what's even more horrible is I had to testify in court.
You chose to.
And I'm going to be open and honest and say that I had to basically say he didn't rape me. Because
he didn't.
He got me to agree to it. So even though I said stop, I said no, stop, you're hurting me. But because I previously agreed to it, now I'm confused. What is consensual?
This is fair.
Can you believe that? She knows what consensual is. She's always known what consensual was. Oh God. Okay, let me let this play. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought consent is.
That just assaulted me, and Nick is being the same person. I'm thinking, okay, one means to hurt me, but also save me. And the other one is just, the Nick that I had been talking to for 2+ years.
I see it.
So I was compartmentalizing at the time.
Okay.
Okay, y'all. Who compartmentalizes? Let's talk about compartmentalizing. What is that? Who does that? Compartmentalizing. Let's talk about it. Let me pull this up right here.
Well, she just doesn't do herself a favor and just go away.
In psychology, compartmentalization is a defense mechanism where a person mentally tries to separate their conflicting thoughts. Okay? It's cognitive disassociates. Well, we know that that's unhealthy, and we know that is what narcissistic sociopaths do. That is how they are able to live with themselves and sleep at night after they've done the things they've done. But they always repeat, who's next? Here we go.
Okay. And did you believe that he was multiple people in essence?
Yes.
Okay, you did. Okay.
I fully believed it. Like I said, I grew up with a mom that heard voices, saw things.
Wait a minute. We never heard this before until this interview. This is the first time I've ever heard her say this about her mother. Has anybody else ever heard her, or has there been any other discussions that her mother heard voices and had hallucinations? Anybody?
I had never heard this till right then.
This is what's shocking because, well, I thought it was normal. No bullshit. I call bullshit on that one. God.
So I was pretty gullible to just believe about anything.
Okay. Okay. Now I see. So then what do you two do?
Mhm.
And I also had been self-medicating. I had developed a
Okay.
addiction to opiates. So I was taking 3 Xanaxes and Vicodin.
Okay. All right. Let me explain something. Let's talk about Xanaxes. If you're taking 3 Xanaxes, you're not up walking around. Okay?
No, you're on your ass.
Xanax is
You
pretty
are on
strong.
your ass. Yeah,
You're
no.
passing out somewhere.
Yes, you are. You are nodding off and you are out cold.
How is she sitting here saying this thinking anybody's going to believe it? She even says to Rod and Christy and everybody else, I don't even remember most of this. She just sat there and did remember it, didn't she? Every bit of it. Every bit of it. Lying.
All together, and I was very, very high after the fact. Ordering pizza, giggling, laughing, not a care in the world.
Okay. And this
Just like a sociopath does. Just like it.
is in the house?
No.
In the hotel?
In the hotel.
Yeah.
Planned. It was literally after it happened. It was run to different state. Forget about it. It didn't exist.
Okay. So you went to the hotel,
Mhm.
ordered pizza.
Mhm.
You're just at a certain point.
Wait a minute. And I made videos of myself and Nick saying, he's eating a brownie, but later he'll be eating me and laughing like the fool she is. She's certainly not going to tell him that, is she? Oh my God.
You post, or who post? So one of the two of you post.
posted.
You post.
Mhm.
Okay. And what do you post?
So we were already back in Wisconsin at this time. That's where he lived.
Okay.
And I logged into my mom's Facebook account because I did not like the idea of her just being there. I felt very unsettled, very uncomfortable with it. Like that level of remorse and just like, I want her found. She deserves a proper burial.
Okay, y'all want to know the truth? Let's talk about the truth right here. She got there and she realized that where she was is not where she wanted to be because she was not going to live the life that she thought she was going to live there. She soon realized there's a lot of problems in that household and damn, I want to go home. So what does she do? She puts this out there knowing they're going to start searching for her and then quickly blames everything she could on Nick. But she's going to tell a little different story right here. She felt remorse. She felt bad. She wanted her mother found. Okay, witch. Okay.
So I want her found. So I log into her Facebook account
Mm-hmm.
and I think back to what he said when he came in the house.
Right.
The bitch is dead. So that's what I put. My mom hardly ever cussed.
You know what though? Nick had no idea that she had posted anything on Facebook. She did not tell him she did this. She did it behind his back to get him caught. Period.
Especially around people. So that's what I put to seem alarming. So the authorities could go and find her and then she could be given a burial.
What about, did you discuss that with Nick to post? Was that, or that was just you?
I'm pretty sure that was just me.
Okay.
Mhm,
Did it
that's
draw
true.
the authorities?
It did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Ultimately, the goal that I wanted to have her found happened.
You wanted yourself found and you wanted to go back home to Missouri and you wanted to be away from him. That is what the truth is. Let's be real. Don't get it twisted.
Okay.
Mhm.
So she's found by the police.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But then what happens to you and Nick?
They think that I was kidnapped. I was missing. So to the authorities, I was missing. Now also you have to understand that my brain was not functioning in a logical way, because I went around the house before we left the scene, taking down all the pictures of me, thinking that I would not exist if there would just be no pictures of me around the house.
Okay.
Didn't make sense at all.
Okay, yeah. She went around the house before this happened. She was tearing that house up, looking for things. Remember all the bags of clothes, etc.? Yeah, a lot was going on, wasn't it, Gypsy? But you're not going to tell all of that, are you? No, she's not.
So days go by, they think I'm missing. Then all of a sudden they track the IP address to his house.
From the post.
From the post.
That she made. Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. Right. Because whoever posted that was aware of what happened.
Exactly.
Okay.
I was not aware of technology that smart at all. So they track the IP address, and then the next morning we wake up to the sound of a barking dog, which was actually the canine unit, and 2 police squads surrounding the house in armored vehicles.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And I told him, I was like, what do I say? Like, what do I say? What do I do? And he said, you're going to tell the police that your mom kicked you out, that you were kicked out, and your mom got mad at you, so you left, and I came to pick you up, and you don't know what happened. Okay. So I went down first. I surrendered first.
No, notice what she said there. He told her to say all that. No, he did not. You made that shit up on the fly all by yourself. All by yourself.
Put me in a cop car. Then they asked me, once they had me in cuffs, does he have any weapons? Does, have any bombs or anything? And I'm like, no. So they got him to come down, and they take him into custody in a separate car, and they bring us to the police station in separate cars.
Okay. And then as you're headed to the police station, what are you thinking? Is it that you fooled them because you took the photos down? And
I was honestly terrified for Nick. I was terrified for him because at that point I didn't see how I can get in any trouble.
That's right. She never thought she was going to get in trouble, ever. But the sad part about it is, when Nick is in that police station, he's in that interview room, he's sitting there going, I don't even know why I'm here, right? He's rethinking this situation about, he didn't think he was going to get in trouble either. That is what tells you that he was really still stuck at 15, 16 years old. He didn't really understand the full head-on what he was facing. And it was really too late by the time he understood that she had thrown him completely under the bus. She was going to let him take whatever blame she could put on him. She tried her best not to take any blame. But once they had the emails and crap, she had no choice but to say what her part was.
I'm like, I just had a conversation with him, Yes. So in my mind, I was definitely downplaying my part.
Okay.
Just
So you
like
thought
a
you get to the
sociopath.
station, he would
be in trouble, and I told him, I was like, I had stole money out of my mom's safe. It was like,
Okay, hey, the money was never in the safe. It was in a drawer, the nightstand drawer beside the bed. That is where the money was kept.
$5,000, $4,000, $5,000. And with that money, I was like, I'm going to get you the best lawyer possible. We're talking like O.J. Simpson, amazing lawyer.
Lawyers.
Because I had no concept of money, and how much things cost. So, I'm still fully in love.
You know why she had no concept of money and what things cost? She stole everything she could. Baby clothes, everything she wanted to steal, she just stole it. She just put it in a wheelchair, thought she was going to get away with it. Oh, but it really wasn't her. It was one of her many faces of Gypsy Rose. It was the Sybil in her.
With Nick at this point.
Yes.
I don't want him to be in trouble. I want to get him out of there. And And I'm not seeing the scope of how I'm in trouble too.
Okay. When do you then realize you're in trouble too?
Upon being charged with first-degree murder.
What goes through your mind when you hear that?
Y'all do remember the phone calls that we listened to? It's okay, Bobby. You do remember the phone calls that we listened to? Tell Dad I'm innocent. Tell so-and-so I'm innocent. I didn't do none of that. I didn't do none of that. Remember those phone calls? Oh, yeah. Yeah, she knew. God.
Terrified.
Hey, Bobby.
Terrified.
Because that holds with it, is it life or is that
Life without parole.
life without parole? Okay.
You're so big, Bobby.
Okay.
Too big.
So then you're immediately incarcerated.
Mhm.
Okay. And for what I understand is, and then you remain incarcerated
Mhm.
until just a few years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. Walk me through the case.
Do y'all realize how much of this was actually left out of this interview? There's so many things he did not ask her about. So many things.
Because you made it clear to tell me right there, I was still in love with Nick.
Mhm.
That's a lie.
At what point do you fall out of love with Nick? Is it during the case?
It was. I think, I look back on this too, and I feel like it was, Nick had been the only one other than my mom that I was talking to for, 2
Wait a minute. Didn't she just tell us that she was online talking to these other men, sending them nude pictures and all of that? Really, Gypsy? You just contradicted yourself right there. Right there.
plus years. So it was like the moment that I had any significant amount of time away from him, that's when I started to be able to think on my own and think about, is this relationship healthy? What is it that I love about him? Am I romanticizing the crime that we just committed as an act of saving me? Or is there something more sinister that I didn't see before?
Okay. And then during that time,
She is sinister. That's the truth. She is sinister. And now I understand that she's had a long time to sit here and make up anything and everything that she can say to make herself look better. And she's done that all over the place, right? Because she's nobody would listen to me, but he's going to listen to her. But he's not going to call her out for lying, is he?
you're going through the court procedure.
Mhm.
You're now off the opioids.
Mhm. Mhm.
I know that you've reflected upon that murder
Mhm.
multiple times. What's then your feeling towards your mother and what happened?
I was so upset with family and with the media because we're only allowed one legacy in this life. When someone passes away, all they have left is their name. And I was feeling regret and remorse about allowing the media to paint her as a villain when I'm like, the thing is what if she's not a villain, but rather just a very sick woman?
Okay, does that shock you? Does that shock you what she just said right there? Until to this day, she's still trying to say her mother had Munchausen. Still to this day. And it's not even true. I mean, this right here is part of what makes me the maddest because she disrespected Dee Dee and she's still disrespecting Dee Dee. And in fact, it was the anniversary of her death. And what does she do? She pulls out something else and gets it put out there. Do you know why? Because she needs to keep her face out there. She don't want nobody thinking about her mother. It's all about her, isn't it? That made me angry.
That needed help.
Okay.
So I started to feel a lot of guilt about that. And then upon getting to prison is when I started to feel the pain and the loss of, okay, I'm never going to see her again. I'm never going to be able to have this closure moment to ask her, well, why this, why that? Would she forgive me? There's no closure on either side.
Yeah. Now, there were court proceedings.
Hang on a minute, though. Gypsy Rose Blanchard, Nick Godejohn didn't get that either. His mother, due to your actions, took her life by overdose on the same day your mother passed away. That's true. That's a true statement right there. On the same day. You witch.
Proceedings for you. But there's a trial.
There's a trial.
You see, get past him. I don't want to hear him talk. I don't want her to
So
talk.
then you feel as if Nick was given the right sentence.
Yes.
Okay.
What about
I
you?
don't feel like he should have be free. But I do feel like he does need a lot of mental health therapy that needs to be done with him. And prison does not rehabilitate you to the best of their ability in the mental health space. They just don't. But yeah, if that would have been the outcome, that would have been fair for the crime that was committed. Now, do I also understand where the prosecution was coming from by offering me mercy? I do.
You know what she understands? Money. Hey, Southern Cats, good to see you today. Thank you for coming on in. We appreciate that. She understands money. And from what we just read, between Dan and her attorney is all about the money. This, oh God, it makes me so angry. And I know it angers everybody else who knows the truth as well. How she sits there and says this garbage.
Okay.
Speaking
So
of
I'm
money, did you hear?
appreciative.
What? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said, speaking of money, did you hear how the sister-in-law said she has an OnlyFans account?
Oh, we know she has an OnlyFans account. She's lied about every single thing. She makes, oh my God. Listen,
Yeah,
there's a
sister-in-law.
reason why Ken, go ahead, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Sister-in-law said she was going to expose it. I don't know what podcast she was on. It was some random channel I saw it on.
Yeah,
But she was talking about all the things that she has that she's going to expose. Well, not her sister-in-law, but you know what I'm saying.
right.
Ken's
That,
sister.
yeah, I know you're talking about. Right. You know, the
Amber
thing
or
about it
whoever.
is, Ken knows she's not marriage material. He's not putting a ring on it. He knows what he's got. I believe because of the laws in Louisiana, he has not left because he wants to be in his child's life. He doesn't want his daughter left alone with her. That's what I believe. 100%.
For the second chance that I've been given, but I understand where people are coming from with feeling like the sentence didn't match the crime.
Okay. Well, that's profound. For you to say that. Very profound. Were you aware of the media attention that this story got around the world, but namely in the United States?
Not to the degree that it was. You hear little bits from other inmates, and what
We know this is a lie right here because she knew before she ever got the plea agreement, HBO was already in the works. Christy and Rod were selling her with books, documentaries, and everything else. The reason why I named this today the Cage Bluebird is because there is an email in the emails that she has written to Melissa Moore saying, I think I'd like to title the book The Cage Bluebird because that's how I feel like I was just a bluebird in a cage. It's out there, it's real. Absolutely, it's in the FOIAs. I was like, good God, you sick bitch.
their families tell them, but there is not a lot, especially in jail. You're not even allowed to read your own articles. If they make a story and you're in it, they take it out, they rip it out.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So all of the papers had like these little cutouts and holes and everything, because obviously it was such a big case, but I couldn't read any of it and I couldn't watch any of it. Anytime
She acts like she never talked on the phone to anybody. Yeah, every single thing comes out of her mouth is a lie. Thank you, Southern Cats, it is. We know she was talking to Christy, Melissa Moore. We know she was talking to all of these people. She had all this information. Shut up, bitch, you're lying. I just, sometimes I'm so bushy. It makes me so mad. So
it would
mad.
come on the news, the guards would turn off the TV. So I was so kept from it.
That's interesting. So you only knew through other
Hang on a minute.
and
Oops,
what were you hearing? What were they telling you?
I mean, a range of different things like, man, your case is really big, like everybody's talking about it. But other than that, that's it. And then I went to prison. And then obviously when the act came out, Hulu's The Act, that kind of blew up. Like that was insane. I went from just being just a case to now being a TV character.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, well, while in prison, did you see The Act?
I did not. No, I heard about it because I was getting lots of fan mail and talking about it. And they would ask me questions and I didn't know what they were referring to, because they had they had a lot of tweaks and changes that never happened in my real life. So the things that they were referencing happened in the show.
Okay.
Just like you, things that you're telling that never really happened in your real life, but you're telling it anyway. It's the same thing.
And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Okay. Now, hold on, Gypsy. You said you received a lot of fan mail.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first fan mail that you received, and how did you feel knowing that you received fan mail?
So before The Act came out, a documentary, the first documentary, was HBO's Mommy, Dead and Dearest, directed by Erin Lee Carr. And after that documentary, I was receiving a lot of mail, and it was supportive mail. I really don't like saying fan mail, but it was a lot of supportive mail from people all around the world that watched this documentary. And my story resonated with them for some reason. And
I'm curious, in that, Gypsy,
Y'all just heard me read. Yeah, she's doing what her mother taught her. That's right. And I think she's twice as, I do too. Cinderella, I do too. I think she is twice as diabolical. But you just heard me read that this plea agreement, everything was based on when HBO was going to be there to film the damn documentary. All of it. Between Dan Patterson, Mike Stanfield, Rod and Christie. The only person who did not want to participate and was a little upset was the sheriff. And that's why they did it in the judge's courtroom, not at the jail. I just read it. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about this situation.
what were you writing to? What were they saying?
telling me about their lives. A lot of them were very open to opening up about their own traumas.
Okay.
They felt like they could relate in some way or another. And it was where I didn't feel so alone. Like, I started to realize that there was a lot more people out there that goes through some really hard stuff in their life.
And you know what? They don't kill their mother.
Okay.
And I was able to form friendships with these pen pals over time.
All right. That's interesting.
Mhm.
That's interesting. So prison, though, is much different than your previous, living situation.
Very
I don't want to listen to him talk. I'm gonna go back.
prison, I was able to, find myself in a controlled environment. But as I was able to make friends, making friends is not easy, especially as an adult, but I was able to make choices for myself, discover who I am, discover what kind of music I like, run around, go to the gym, go to school. I got my GED while I was in prison.
So, I want to say this delicately, but I'll just say it is that. So initially, did you enjoy your time?
I
in prison?
I won't say that it's enjoy. I will say it's live in a new way.
Okay, so you enjoyed living.
It was
in a new way.
enjoyment.
You pass that on.
You know, that's 8.5 years of me watching my sister grow up, go to prom, my brother get married, you know, all these life moments that now I cannot join with them in, that I'm having to watch from afar. That is the punishment.
Because you made that choice. You made that choice. You drug me, go to Johnny into this. You are the reason. God, I hate her.
Prison itself, I had a routine, I had a job. I didn't so much mind living there. If I had no family to go home to, prison probably wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world.
Interesting. Yeah, and I also thinking,
Get past this.
Still locked up. But there was never a time where I felt taken advantage of by them. And for me, that's big.
now I also know in prison is where you met your previous husband.
Yes. Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Oh, God.
You know what? I hope that Ron Anderson watches this, and I hope that he, at some point, understands he needs to realize his logic about her is not helping her, and it's not helping him. It makes him look totally ridiculous because he cannot let her go. Watch this.
Oh, God.
First, how do you meet and marry someone while being in prison? How do you do that?
Well, I had received a letter from a man that's local, like a Louisiana-born native. So I was like, oh, it's someone, you know, from my neck of the woods, you know, a Louisiana Cajun boy.
Yes.
So I wrote back, and he seemed very sweet, and we made friends. It's not like we got into a relationship right out the gate, but he made me laugh. He made me laugh, and that was something that is needed sometimes in prison.
Okay.
Sometimes you just need someone to make you laugh.
Okay. All right. I see it. I see it. So now, how many men were supportive, were writing you supportive letters?
That I wrote back to, or no?
Or no, not that you wrote back to you. I'm just curious, what was the incoming like for you?
I mean, the incoming, I was getting a mixed, you know, I would get hundreds of letters. But I
In
didn't
what
write
time
back
period?
to them.
Hundreds?
And I mean, I would say in the months after a documentary or the act came out. And it got to be where the prison no longer had physical mail. They have tablets now with its own email system.
Oh, wow.
That pisses me off. I don't think these prisoners ought to have those tablets like that. I just don't think so. But I understand why they do it, because it cuts down on the staff, et cetera, and all things they have to go through. But I don't really think it's fair. But anyway.
Okay.
So the emails would come in through that certain system. And it was hundreds, you know, over the course of the next few months after the act came out. I mean, that's exactly how I met my current boyfriend. I mean,
You say baby daddy.
I met my current boyfriend before I met my ex-husband.
Did you?
Yes. So my current boyfriend, his name is Ken.
Okay.
He wrote me after watching Mommy, Dead, and Dearest.
Okay.
It was a support.
Here's the thing about this, guys. What kind of a man writes love letters to a chick in prison for killing her own mother? Who is sick, them or her or all of them? There's something very wrong with that picture. It's so disgusting, really it is.
Supportive letter, not on any kind of romantic level. He gave me his work schedule I gave him a call. Within 5 minutes of talking on the phone, I felt like we had known each other our whole lives, besties.
Really? But all right, you have to help me on this, because dating, this is a spot, an area that I.
But like calls is how you talk to people, get to know people.
Oh, so you're getting hundreds of supportive mail and email, but how many of those are people that you believe are trying to actively engage in a romantic relationship with you?
I mean, I would say about like 60% of them.
60% of the hundreds of people that were sending her emails, texts, whatever, were romantically interested in her. That is a scary number. But you know what? When we read the memoirs of a sociopath, we do know that 1 in 25 people is a sociopath. That's a fact. Right there, that's a fact.
I have my own thoughts on that.
Yes. Please, because I know that is a fetish.
Okay, I have my thoughts.
Okay.
My thought is that I didn't get a chance to watch the documentary until I was already out of prison. So upon watching the documentary, from what I kind of gather is, watching my story and then kind of watching where I was at that time, I feel like men instinctually want to protect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also a chronic flirt. So I can
hear that? Well, I'm a chronic flirt. That's why they were interested in me. Yeah, the Save a Hoe. It's the Save a Hoe program right there. Save a Hoe.
Mm-hmm. See how I could kind of go that route too. So that's my thoughts.
Okay. All right. What was in the early time in prison? What do you believe?
I don't want to hear him talk. I just want to hear her talk.
Engaged. He left me and broke my heart. When I tell you, we still sometimes have arguments about him, I say abandoning, because that, prison was the time that I needed someone. I needed support. I needed someone to ride or die with me through the thick and the thin of it, and I felt like he was going to be that one. And for him to turn off all emotion and not answer my calls and then go on to get into another relationship. He got with another girl literally 2 months after leaving me. Wow. And went on to have a 4.5-year relationship with that woman. And so also 2020 was the year of COVID. So Ryan wrote me during COVID after watching the documentary, and unfortunately his was a lot different than Ken's though.
Okay.
Ken, a friend of his named Diane, had watched my documentary first and was like, hey, you got to watch this documentary, it's so good. And they watched it together. Whereas Ryan watched it, then was at work having a conversation with a coworker. The coworker said, hey, I've been watching a lot of things about Tiger King. And then Ryan was like, well, if you write Tiger King, I'll write Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And then it was on a dare. Okay. And at the time I was like, okay, it's whatever. So
you'll change the light bulb for me, right?
2020 was a very lonely year.
Perfect. Thank you.
What did you say? Are you talking to me or somebody else?
Oh,
yeah, oh my God! What? Right.
I thought I was muted. I'm sorry.
Southern Cat's right. Oh my God! What? Right. I mean, it's just fascinating to watch somebody lie so easily. It's almost like they just should tattoo the word sociopath in her damn forehead. Really, she's such the perfect example of it.
She's textbook. She is
right, textbook. She sure is. I'm never going to say that Dee Dee Blanchard didn't have some problems, because I know she did. I know there's a lot of malingering. I understand that. And I know that she learned early, hey, listen, I mean, we could have a lot better life if we just do this, that, or the other. But she never had 30 surgeries. She was not medically abused, blah, blah, blah. That is not true. She really didn't have the chromosomal disorder. She really had a lot of the problems that she had.
And he made me laugh, and there were many times that I felt like I was not physically attracted to him, but I was getting emotional comfort, so much so that, when he was like, I want to get married, like there were several times I told him, I'm like, I just think of you like a brother, or like I think of you like a cuddle buddy.
Those statements right there, those statements, Ryan's feelings, I'm sure, are crushed. Because just like Nick, Gypsy was his everything. Just like Nick. And she's sitting there saying these things about him. Well, let's talk about it for real. She's getting out of prison. She needs a place to go, doesn't she? And because I don't really think that Krusty and Rod wanted her to come to their house. Because, she's dangerous and they know it. They know it. They know what they've got there. And I think that because, he lived in Louisiana, this is just a great setup, right? A cuddle buddy. This is a great setup for her to get out of prison, do her parole, and then boom, right back to Ken. Right back to Ken. There's a lot about this Ken story that the truth has not really been told, about who reached out to who, etc. And they're not going to tell you the truth about it.
But he was always just has to be romantic, has to be romantic, has to be romantic.
Do you know how to say no? Do you know how to say no? Right, you needed somebody to use. Okay, now we know.
And then later, the prison emails between us back and forth were released to the public.
Oh my goodness.
And people could see how he was so aggressive at wanting the relationship or nothing. And so essentially, I married him for the wrong reasons. I was like, I felt like I settled. I felt like if I couldn't have Ken, I didn't.
See, the sad part in all of this is Ryan is always going to be her B man. If I can't have A, I'm just going to go on to B. And I'm going to keep B strung along over here with me my whole life so I can have somebody to run back to, because I don't want to be by myself, right? That's what's going on here. Typical.
I want to die alone. And I wanted to at least prove to myself that I could maybe move past my heartbreak with Ken and go on to marry someone and be okay with just that. And I wasn't. We were married for like a year and a half.
And even the
marriage. She was in prison, but once she got out, how long did she live with him? Think about that.
So the marriage, the actual wedding ceremony,
60 days, 90
must
days?
have taken place in.
Right, just long enough to be able to file for divorce in Louisiana. You have to live in the state so long as your residence before you can file for divorce.
Prison.
It did, in the visitation room by the bathroom.
Wow. Okay, romantic.
Yeah, so romantic.
Yes. And who then attends your wedding?
The only person that attended was my friend, the OG friend. And my parents couldn't come, I think, because like the COVID stuff was still going on. So there was so much limiting how much interaction, how many people could come visit at one time, I think. So it was just my friend and that's it.
So I have to ask this too, is by this time you had served how many years in prison?
7.5.
Okay, 7.5. Okay, you had served 7.5 years. Mm-hmm. And you felt as if you had only a few more years left, mm-hmm. Because you didn't know if you'd be released early,
right,
or not.
I had my parole hearing in December of 2021.
Okay.
And so I knew when I would be going home. I knew my release date.
Wow.
At that point.
So you knew you were within a year.
Mm-hmm.
So then, Gypsy.
Why do it?
Why do it?
Okay, well, because I was not paroling to the state of Missouri, I was paroling to the state of Louisiana. I had to enter into something called an interstate compact.
Okay.
So what that means is you can parole to a spouse or a family member, but you cannot parole to a boyfriend. So I could.
So I just used him because he was so convenient. Right. No one, no one came because no one likes you. That's too funny, Southern Cats. Thank you. Thank you for making me laugh. I mean, some of this is, the lies are so bad and some of it is funny. But in the long run, poor Dee Dee. What was Dee Dee living with this sociopath in the house with her? I know she was afraid of Gypsy. I know she was. Gypsy pointed a gun at her and she had 30 pellet wounds. Come on, you know? Good God.
Have parole to my family. I had that option. Before I met Ryan, that was my plan. And then I met Ryan, and then, of course, I wanted to live with my boyfriend who had been waiting a few years for me. So, I struggled with, do I go live with my family? Or
one of the things that she has said in a different interview in a different interviews, well, now who wants to be 32 years old or 30, however old she was, and be going home to their parents' house? Now, who wants to do that, right? Okay, right. And that's why she married Ryan. Poor Ryan.
Or do I go live with a partner that has been waiting for me? And so that was the benefit of why then.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
I see it.
So
Just
what
use
in the
it.
world happens? How do you two break up?
Well, I get released. And I go home with him. We had an apartment in Lake Charles, and I'm not going to say that I was unhappy. I was not unhappy. We had taken a trip to New York, because we were filming a reality TV show essentially.
Essentially, or you were?
We were like, it started a few days before I got out. The Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup series. And so we are navigating, filming this show about my life, present day. And so that adds such an element of stress to it. I mean, it was a wonderful show. I'm appreciative for the, opportunity to go ahead and do it. But it was a level of stress too, because it's cameras all in your face. I mean, the very first night that I got out, there's cameras in the bedroom with me and Ryan.
Wow.
And she loved every minute of it because she knew as long as those cameras were in there, she didn't have to actually be physical with him because she had no interest in being physical with Ryan. Let's tell the truth, Gypsy. Why don't we just tell the truth?
It's freaking me out because it's like my eyes were even trying to adjust to the color, because in prison, everything is so beige, so, gray. It's colorless pretty much. And out in the real world, there's so many vibrant colors. So like I'm adjusting to seeing colors, and the last thing I want to do is be on a camera while my husband is trying to get groovy. Like,
right.
See?
Right.
This is not what I want to be doing right now.
Right. But this is what's happening.
Let's go past. I don't want to hear him talk.
So, gray, it's colorless pretty much. And out in the real world, there's so many vibrant colors. I need to work on the trauma that I had experienced. So, unfortunately, and I told Ryan this too. I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I just, I feel like I have not gotten to a point where I could enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm too busy thinking about the past.
Yes.
And I'm just not there yet.
And you never intended to be. Mm-hmm. Let me get her to talking. I want to get her to talking because I cannot stay on very much longer. Okay.
You were, your ex, we'll call him your ex, that he's going to do life in prison, knowing that your mother is no longer here, and you played a role in her no longer being here.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel?
That's right, Southern
leaving
Cats.
prison early?
Leaving prison early. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I couldn't think of anything other than my own happiness.
It's all about you.
Okay, that's fair.
All
That's
about
fair.
you.
And can we acknowledge that you are a public figure? You know, you are a celebrity.
I hate that word.
Oh, no, she's infamous. Infamous. She's not a celebrity and she's not famous. She's infamous. There's a huge difference, dude. Get it right. This guy, oh, I can't get past. I don't hear him say that.
People came to your support. It felt like, you know, if you look at your social media, for example, you were very quickly followed by millions of people. I mean, how did...
Because she was sold before she ever even went to prison. This was all calculated. They knew exactly what they were doing. Exactly what they were doing. All grifting off of the death of her mother by her.
How does that feel?
Damn it.
I was not expecting it, and I was not ready for it. When family and friends said, we're going to need to protect our girl because she doesn't know what she's coming out to, I was expecting...
Because they need to protect that financial cash cow they got going on. That's what she is.
Expecting hate. I was expecting, you know, I was going to be hated like Casey Anthony is hated.
You should be.
But it was the opposite. Like you said, I gained millions of followers, which my brain couldn't even wrap my head around. What 9 million followers on TikTok and 9 million.
Oh, shut up.
Now, it's, you know, it's interesting. It's been given to you. You didn't ask for this, but this platform, if you will, has been handed to you. Now, it's...
And just be like, I would have watched this show.
I'm sorry, guys, here.
You know?
Your first time interacting with people. You know, what was that like?
It felt so freeing, and everything was trial and error.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay.
You know, learning how to cook, learning how to do this, and learning how to do that. Like at the time I got out, I didn't know how to drive. Like I didn't have a drive.
You know what, y'all? We've been on here for 2 hours, almost 3 hours. I think I'm gonna get off because the rest of it's just all about her and Kenan. And we all know the truth there. Every bit of this was a damn lie. And it makes me so disgusted that she's allowed to sit there and do this. Every bit of it. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. Into the Weeds has every bit of the FOIA. It's there for anybody to go look at, go use, go grab it, go start a channel with it, whatever you want to do with it. It's free. Go use it. You can have content for days, weeks, years from all the information that's in that FOIA. So I suggest everybody that hears this, go out to Into the Weeds, go to the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case, look at it all. Decide for yourself after you read it all. Because I've read every text message. I've read every report, every single bit of this. I've read it all. And I can tell you right now, that this right here is one of the worst human beings I have ever seen. She will repeat herself. She's already started. You saw the blanket getting cut up and they talk about the headboard thing, all of that. It's all true. None of that is a lie. It's all true. She's already started. Who will be the next person that she's going to take? And she's going to either talk somebody else into doing, or she will do it herself with a pair of scissors to them. Who is it going to be? That's what's sad about this situation. Because she was not truly addressed for what she is. When you go read the information between Dan Patterson and Mike Stanfield, you understand exactly what happened here. When on her plea day, she's pleading, and HBO was there to film the documentary. They've all agreed upon it. They didn't want to do it at the jail because they didn't want to call attention to it to the other prisoners. Why not? Because it's all calculated for money. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I got some stuff I got to do. It's almost time for my honey to come home, and I got to cook his dinner because he comes home with his dinner cooked every night. But anyway, you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for stopping by. We always appreciate having you here. If you get a chance, please hit that subscribe, like, and share button. You know, the algorithm's kind of weird on YouTube. I didn't know this till a few weeks ago. I had no idea that what drove your content into the algorithm was the like button. I did not know that. But anyway, that's where we're at on this. I hope you've enjoyed something I've shown you today. And again, please, for yourself, go read it all. Go get it. Just go get it. Anyway, we're going to say good night. We'll see you later. And we're going to come live tomorrow. And can you come live tomorrow, Sprinkle?
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow.
Let me tell you what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Let me get it pulled up over here. Hang on a second. Tomorrow we're going to do the next contestant on It's Your Time in the Chair. That is, it's not a game show, but anyway, it is the case of Dusty Ray Spencer, who is on death row. He is going to be put to death on 6/25 in Alabama. So we're going to be talking about his case tomorrow. So far, he has exhausted every appeal. He does not have any appeals left. I don't know if they're going to actually do it or not. Now, our last person that we had the death watch on, he actually did not go because all of a sudden the Supreme Court said, no, you're not going to use that gas. We're not going to allow you to use that gas. So that's a whole nother story about what happened with him, because there is a second story to that. He chose gas, and then they decided, no, you can't use the gas. But since he chose the gas, they have to come up with another way, and it has to be approved for him to actually get his sentence, which was death. So with that, please take us out, Sprinkle.
Don't forget to hug your babies.
That is right. You know, life is short. And I say this every time, and there's a reason. Life is short, and our time with them is even short, with our kids is even shorter. A few of us have learned that lesson, you know, because myself and Sprinkle and a few other people that come into our chat and are friends with us have lost their babies too. And so when that happens to you, you really think differently about life. And the one thing I don't want anybody to ever have is regret. So it's okay. Pick up that phone. You reach out. You tell your children you love them. You make sure they're in your life. And with that, we're going to say goodnight. Goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Bye.